You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of LadyJ Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Lady J. Welcome to What Up Baltimore. I got my friend here, Christopher Anderson. Y'all, I'm tired as I don't know what because I just got back this morning. Not this morning, this afternoon, like after 12. And so I'm tired, but the show must go on. So we have Christopher Anderson here tonight, and we're going to be talking to him. Chris always sets the numbers on fire when he comes on because of his views and opinions. So y'all heard me say the views and opinions expressed are not are not of the host. So these views and opinions are going to be from
Of
Mr.
mine.
Christopher Anderson. But listen, y'all, we're going to have a candid conversation tonight because Christopher Anderson endorses Trump. Christopher Anderson also is a Black Republican. And so I've seen him take a lot of flack for being in the Republican Party, for his views and opinions. And so I just wanted to talk to him tonight because he also is running for office for a city council seat here in Baltimore. And, we vote blue here. And so he is a Republican and has no problem voicing that in our city. So, Chris, welcome to the show once again. Thank you for coming on with me. And,
Lady J, thank you for having me on once again. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on once again. I expect a vigorous conversation tonight. A very vigorous conversation with some spice to it.
Absolutely. And you all will be able to call in shortly. We're going to talk for a little bit. Chris and I are going to talk for a little bit. Then I'm going to open up the phone lines and you'll be able to chat with Chris and let him know how you feel, if you agree, if you disagree. So I'm going to give Chris the solo view and allow him, for those of you who don't know him, a lot of you should be getting to know who he is because he's been on here quite a bit. But anyway, I'm going to give Chris the solo view and I'm going to let Chris tell you about him, who he is, and all that good stuff. And then we're going to come back and we're going to have this conversation because I got some questions too. So I'm going to give Chris the solo layout.
I like the solo layout, by the way. Makes me realize I got my tile on right.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Anderson. I'm running for City Council, District 7. If you don't know where that's at, that's in West Baltimore. I am one of the few Republicans in this area. I think it's about 3 of us that I know of. It's a lot more than that. If I had to guess, I would say about maybe 100, 150 of us, maybe 300 compared to tens of thousands of Democrats, which is not enough. But the mindset really has to change for Black Republicans, for Black independents. I'm running for office because we need a change. We don't need to say, listen, for everybody that love the Democratic Party so much, your streets are riddled with crime. Your school system is indoctrinating your children, miseducating them. Your political power is almost non-existent since they already have your vote. Have you heard me say, Barack Obama has told people, I'm not giving you reparations or anything because I already got your vote. So we're not even leveraging our political power against the Democratic Party to get what we want. So we have no party. And they're starting to realize we're waking up. That's why they're letting Latinos and illegals into your Black communities to take them over, because that will wipe out your vote for political power altogether. And not enough of you are waking up at this time. So if I got to be the fall guy to take that mashing, to stand behind Trump and say Trump, 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 to get you people to really be woke, because a lot of people yelling woke and not awakened at all. They're sleepwalking down crime-ridden streets with drugs and alcohol and gun violence and bad education for your children. I don't even know how you standing up for that. I really don't. Black people calling themselves woke and letting their own we selling our children out. We selling our children out to a bad education, and no one seems to care. And now they're being shot and killed, and people got a nerve to say, why would you be a Republican? Why would you be a Republican? Why are you still doing the same thing that you're doing and getting the same results for it? And you can't even get your public official on the phone to change not one thing, and they won't change it. They don't have any incentive to change it. You're not even leveraging your vote or giving your vote away to anybody else for them to change it. And the only people that really give your vote away is the Republican Party. You say, oh, well, independents. And the independents have no power and no money. I wish everybody wants to know that. Everybody talk this independent stuff. Independents do not have any party platform. They have no political power, and they have no money. So independent really means independent. They really don't have, independently won just by themselves. They haven't even organized themselves into one whole party. So you don't really have an independent party. So the only other person you can run to is our original party, which was started by African freed slaves, by the way, after Lincoln. That's when the Republican Party really took off ground. I might be a little outdated with my time. My research is not in front of me, but we know Lincoln and the Civil War and the freed slaves are the ones that was on the Republican Party side. Even Harriet Tubman was over there. And people, I'm not just a black Republican, black conservative. I'm not just a black Republican. I'm a pro-black Republican. A lot of people don't know our history. They don't know that Harriet Tubman was a Republican. She was a secret running down into the South, freeing slaves to take them back to the North for the Republican Party. Don't have no idea of that. A lot of people don't know Frederick Douglass, Republicans. Most of our icons, even if they wasn't Republicans, they were conservative. Dr. Martin Luther King was a conservative. Malcolm X was a conservative. Minister Farrakhan is even a conservative. So you really have to wake up to what your really roots, political values, and your power really lies. And it lies in the Republican Party. We really got to start opening our minds up if we're going to say that we're woke. And we really got to look at a difference and a change. And we really got to look at the Republican platform. We can't just vote and say, "Oh, I like that person. He. I like him. I like them." They smile in your face, take your vote, and don't give you nothing in return for it. I like Mr. Nfume too. He's a very good conservative himself. He says he's a liberal, but he sticks with church and my church with me. So we really got to really think about, especially you Christian people that's in your black churches. You really got to think about where your allegiance lay. Are you sold out for Christ and conservatism, or are you just sold out for Democrats? If you sold out for Democrats, they ain't selling nothing back into you. And you really got to rethink your vote. And you really got to rethink your values. And you really got to think what you're throwing away. And you really got to stop voting for your own demise. Because sooner or later, they're going to have us in this. Well, you've seen Chicago. You've seen Detroit. You've seen where they put in the illegals. I think the only reason they put them in New York was they was doing that as a testing ground. But New York is California, they're intense. Come on, people, stop being loyal to a party that's not loyal to you. They're going to dump all that impoverishment. They're going to hide all that crime. They're going to hide all that mismanagement of money. They're going to hide all of that miseducation of our children in the black community. They're not going to even do it in whites. When they bring illegals in, they're not going to put them in the suburbs around Kamala Harris. They're not going to put them around Biden or Obama. They're going to put them around you. And then they're going to say, oh, it's your problem. Y'all just, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps and do the best thing you can. But it's your fault. I get so tired of hearing. That's why I got in politics as a community. I was a community activist in the community at New Shiloh Baptist Church, giving out food. And I realized that the more food you give out, the more of a problem it becomes. Because soon you're going to have to give out all the food in the world because people are going to be living on the streets. Your gas and electric bill, the mayor's office already sold out your gas. They're even setting you up for failure. And you people are not strong enough. Don't call yourself pro-black or woke. You're not strong enough to fight back against the own party that is fighting you. But they'll bow in front of your face and put their hands up, Nancy Pelosi, and all of the pander your vote. And you are so low and so miseducated and indoctrinated, you'll say, they for us. They are not for you. They're stealing your vote. They're stealing your political power. And I'm here to change that.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Christopher Anderson. See, this is why people they have a love-hate relationship with you because of what you said. But I want to go back to something that you said because I want to ask you a honest question because you said a lot. You said a lot in those few minutes. And Biden is president right now, and I know you don't really care for him. Let's see, we got Warren Smith on here. Warren Smith said, I agree. So he agrees with everything you said. Thank you,
You
Warren, for
should.
tuning in.
Anybody black is going to agree with what I'm saying. They just need to be explained in an intelligent, conservative way. Anybody. We got too many liberals that can't, liberal people that steal our vote. They can't all. Lady J, you had them on. You asked them, do they have a plan? They don't have no plan.
Hmm.
They just say black community, pro black. Look at that. They kneel in front of you and pander, and that's how they get you. Or they dance like Westmore did. They just dance and
Hmm.
get the microphone and jigaboo. Oh, Lord forgive me. Oh, I'm sorry. Lord forgive me for saying that. Lord forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lady J, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this is my question, right? So we know that Biden is president right now, and I know you don't really like him running our country, but I'm gonna ask you an honest question. Do you really think, okay, do you really think that Trump would make a better president for the United States of America? Because Trump says a lot, he does a lot, he's in court right now. This man has a lot going on, and he's still talking about running, to be the president of the United States. Do you think he would be a good candidate for the United States of America?
Not only, Lady J, that's an excellent question. And it's something that we need to consider at this time because there's only two people in the race, Donald Trump
Eh,
and Joe Biden. Not
Right,
only
right.
do I think he would make a great candidate, I know he will. The man is on
Hmm.
trial. Look, they doing everything. Why do you think he's on trial? They're doing everything to stop him from getting up in there. They doing everything because they want business as usual. And if our people don't
Hmm.
wake up, they're gonna rock us back to sleep again. That's what Joe Biden is
Okay.
for. I mean, look at Nancy. But when they take knees and all that kind of stuff, stuff works in the black community. We have to shock ourselves to out of this to go to Donald Trump. We got to shock ourselves. And I'm gonna say a couple of things. First of all, last week when I was on your show, you had a mayoral question, and you asked me how would I work with the mayoral question. I'm gonna answer it. I answered it wrong last time.
Hmm.
Shannon Wright and Donald Scoggins are in a primary, but I could work with either one of them if they're the mayor. I can take orders from either one of them because they're
Hmm.
Republicans. So
Hmm.
we think alike. But let me tell you something. Joe Biden, the first thing, no, black people from the sound of my voice should not vote for Joe Biden. They should vote for Donald Trump. 110%. Every black
Okay.
person, whole black community, the whole pro black community, and the church should already be on Trump's corner. Their conservative values of church are in the Republican Party. It's not even about Donald Trump. It's about where your values lie and what programs and what benefits are you going to get out of a party. It's never even about Trump. That's one person. He can tweet all day long at night. All I could care less, as long as he can write a bill. The first thing Joe Biden did when he got in the office, and he got all of our vote, the black vote, 80% of it. If you look at the data, which people we're not looking at, 80% of
Hmm.
the black vote went to went to Joe Biden. And the first thing he did when he got in office and wrote an Asian crime bill, an Asian hate crime bill. Long as we've been waiting for something like that, as an acceptable people that's been attacked, been in riots and everything like that, asking for this and begging for that. And the first thing this man do is write an Asian crime bill and he gave us Juneteenth, which was one thing on the platinum plan that Donald Trump wrote. One thing, and he gave us symbolism. We keep getting symbolism. We keep getting symbolism and accepting symbolism when we want something tangible. The Asian people asked for a crime bill because they were being attacked on the street. You know how long we've been attacked? And then next thing
Yeah.
you know, he wrote an Asian crime bill. I think Donald Trump, I'm going to tell you why I'm voting for Donald Trump, and all black people should vote for Donald Trump, or at least consider it. Number
Hmm.
one, number one, we got Juneteenth off of Trump's platinum plan, where Ice Cube went to Barack Obama, and Ice Cube and Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Boise Watkins, two of our scholars in our community, which we laugh at as people. We always want to call people on my side traitors and house Negroes and all this old name calling, which is very childish. But they went to Barack Obama to get reparations passed, and Barack Obama
Hmm.
said no. No, no, the black community is in our pocket. 90% votes. Why we got to give them something? No, we need that leverage. See, they need that leverage against the black community. They offer us something to get our votes at
Mm-hmm.
the last minute. So we really ain't
Mm-hmm.
getting nothing for our political power. Nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
so Ice Cube and Dr. Boise Watkins and Dr. Claude Anderson said, okay, we'll go to Trump. And Trump said, I'll consider it, and gave us a platinum plan. On that platinum
Mm-hmm.
plan, we had prison reform, which we saw. We had 10 years of fundings of HBCUs, which the left still keep refuting. That's not necessarily true. They always look at, oh, that's not necessarily true. They have a problem with the word permanent. 10 years. We had to go beg every year while Barack Obama was in office for them to renew the funding for the HBCUs, our schools. Donald Trump
Mm-hmm.
gave it to us for free, and he gave us Juneteenth. He didn't win re-election, so that got thrown off the table. And Joe Biden said, "Let me see that. I think I'll give the black community, I'll give the Asian people, Asian hate bill. So if you commit crimes against the Asian people, it's a hate crime. You get double percent of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Black people, I'll give you Juneteenth, a holiday." A holiday that was in Texas that's not even a national holiday. I respect it. I celebrate Juneteenth, but it's a that what is that? What is that? We know we free. I mean, that's not nothing. I respect the holiday, but give me a black crime plan. Give me a urban plan. That's something we've been asking for forever. And
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is the only person, by the way, Lady J, from the sound of my voice, to all the African Americans that's listening. He's the only president that actually wrote a urban plan for people. The only one historical. They said it's historical, and the media went blackout because they don't want black people to know that. He's the only person that wrote a urban crime bill. You'll never get the
Mm-hmm.
Democrats to write that. You'll never get the Democrats to write it because black people on that side are going to ask for a whole lot of things in there. I remember when Maxine Waters, who we call Auntie Max, she ain't my aunt. She's not my aunt. Auntie Max, I don't have no respect for none of these Democrats. She ain't my aunt. I don't want nothing to do with her. I don't want nothing to do with her. They asked
Okay.
Maxine Waters, will you support reparations? She said, yes, I will. Yes, we will. She went up. That's why I tell people, forget about it. There's nothing written up on reparations. She was just pandering. But
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, he wrote it right off the bat. He wrote it a platinum plan, an urban plan right off the bat. That's the person I'm giving my vote to, and that's the person I recommend most African Americans give their vote to if they want some progress in this election season. If we don't, Joe Biden is going to rock us back to sleep with a whole bunch of dancing and I can't use that word, but whole bunch of dancing and fakeness and pandering and taking a knee, and have these white folks take knees like they actually doing something for us, but behind our backs they wiping out our political power. I'm not for them, and I'm going to the Republican Party, and I suggest everybody else do so too.
Wow. Chris, Chris. Maxine Waters, talked about her. And like you said,
Not my aunt.
she's everybody's aunt, and so
She,
people might come after you for that
take her
comment.
back. Take her back. She ain't our aunt. Take her back. Take her back. She ain't our aunt. She's white people's aunt. She's white people aunt.
Okay. And then you talked about Juneteenth, which, is a huge celebration here in Baltimore. And I'm sure many other, African Americans celebrate Juneteenth. So you hit a couple of nerves right there. So I'm just telling you,
I
you know,
celebrate Juneteenth. I celebrate Juneteenth, but I would
mm-hmm,
like a legislation and a crime plan. I would like a legislation written in our favor for 10 years of HBCU funding. I could do a lot better with that than going out shaking a Juneteenth flag and getting a chicken. I already get chicken on 4th of July and Memorial Day and
Chris,
Veterans Day.
Chris, Chris.
I get hamburgers already on 4th of July. I get hamburgers
Mm-hmm,
on Veterans Day.
mm-hmm. But we know it's more than that. We know Juneteenth is more than that. It's but that's a whole nother subject. But we know what Juneteenth is. But I do get your point, and I respect your point, and I respect what you say because that's your belief. That's what you stand for. So I respect that. But I want to go back to Trump because there are a lot of black people, Chris, who don't trust Donald Trump. They don't think Donald Trump has their interest at heart. I have talked to so many black people who are afraid that if that man gets in office, that is going to set the black community back years. People are afraid. And that's what I hear as I'm talking to people who are not Republicans. and who are really concerned about him, being voted in. And I'm saying to a lot of people, he'll probably be voted in. And so people are very afraid of that. And what do you say to them?
That's induced fear. The Republican Party, I'm sorry, the Democratic Party wants to keep us on the plantation for power, to keep them in power because they have plans to destroy our communities. Black people, one thing I do like about the woke, black, I've been around, I talked to Donald Trump and I've been around a lot of pro-black people, and they're actually awake because we've been through so much. There's a lot of people on the pro-black side, like Dr. Umar Johnson, that's still fighting for us, like Farrakhan, that's still fighting for us. And guess who they voting for secretly? I'll say it in front of everybody, Donald Trump. The Democrats will tell you first thing they say, white supremacy, white racist, racist. That's their race. He's a racist. That's their whole platform. He's a racist. He's a racist because they know that will chug the emotions of black people, mainly women, because their main voters are women. But African American men are saying, oh, wait a minute, hold up. We want something of more substance. Why would I be afraid of Donald Trump? Before he was running for office, he was hanging out with Snoop Doggy. He was hanging out with Snoop Dogg. He was hanging out with Kanye West, Mike Tyson, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. They gave him awards. But as soon as he started running for office, the Democrats said, no, we can't have him in there. Put every crime on him and call him a white supremacist. Call him a white supremacist. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me wake somebody up. Wake somebody up that's watching this right now. Donald Trump is just as white as Joe Biden. Okay, they both white, both of them. Okay, if you want to call one a racist, both of them are racist. But I'll tell you this about the difference between Donald Trump being a racist and Joe Biden being a racist. Only one of them is going to hurt you and hurt you bad, and that's Joe Biden. Joe Biden wrote a crime bill. Like I said, I want some bills. I don't want no symbolism. Donald Trump tweets. Joe Biden wrote a crime bill when he was in office, so that locked up 90% of the black community, and we are still impacted by that till this day. They're still letting people out because of that till this day. That crime bill, Kamala Harris backed him up on it, and between the two of them, they have locked up so many black. One of them's a half Asian, and the other one is a white supremacist, which is Joe Biden is a real card-carrying white supremacist. I can't call Donald Trump a white supremacist. I can't call him that.
But there are people who do, Chris. There are people who do. There are people who do.
He himself, let me tell you, he himself called himself a white nationalist, and he was honest about it. He said one thing about him, one of them's behind your back and one of them's right to your face. He said, listen to me. I'm the least white nationalist that you have to worry about. He said that out of his own mouth. I said, black people ain't listening to the man's words. He said, I'm the least person of white nationalism that you have to worry about. In other words, I'm not trying to come back at y'all. I only respect my white race. That's it. I think all white people are a bit white nationalists if you really, it's all to a certain degree. But Joe Biden, this man is sniffing children, sniffing babies, in cults, in with the system. We talk about the system so much and taking it down. This man's tied into it. One of they're trying to kick Trump out of the system. So why would you want to support the system and vote for your own demise by voting for Joe Biden, who has a history of white supremacy, locking up the black community and letting him tell you somebody else is a racist? And Trump, who has a history of sending tweets and saying mean things. Okay, sending tweets and saying mean things. I'm sorry, I'll take the tweets. And I think every black person in the community need to reevaluate what a white supremacist is, and a person that really hates you, which is prejudice, which is Joe Biden, who's doing things and has plans behind your back. And Trump only want to send out tweets in the middle of the night to say bad things about. People always talk about, and I'm gonna say this real quick. People always talk about his discrimination practices back in the day. He discriminated against black people. Didn't want him in his apartments. He didn't say he said he didn't want welfare, and he himself defended that. Like I said, the man's right up front in your face. He said, "Yeah, I said those things because Section 8. Sorry, they can't fill my buildings. I need people with big time money. Certain parts of his building. I talked to Mr. Trump. Certain parts of that building down in New York City, he had floors sold out for $1 million. So he said it wasn't really about people being black. He said he just didn't want people with low income in his they just happened to be black. We had to be on that side, and of course black people want more access to that. But he was looking for money. That man's a capitalist. He really is a Republican capitalist. He's out for money, and he'll go wherever money is. And right now, money was in his camp with white people, and so yeah, he did kind of deny poor people that access, but he's in the business of capitalism. He said, not in the business of helping. He's not in the charity business. He wasn't running a church, and I don't think that's an acceptable answer, but it was truthful, and I accepted his answer. Joe Biden, he locked people up, and when he was in office, I got locked up. When he was doing that crime plan, I got pulled over. I think I told you the story before, Lady J. I got pulled over for driving with a suspended license and locked up in jail for a month. And took me, my dumb self, because I'm miseducated, my dumb self, that's when I first learned about policies and politics. I said, why am I in jail for all this long time? They said, you ain't heard Joe Biden crime plan. That's why you got to pay attention to what's happening on your local level and on your national level. He said, crime plan, 3 strikes. We got to keep you in jail, sir. I said, for a low level, he said, if you black, you getting locked up. I said, Lord have mercy, I'm never voting Democrat again.
But Chris, and I hear everything that you're saying. I get it. I hear it. I'm listening. But then my question still is, what has Donald Trump done for black people? I heard what you said, that Biden has not done for us. But what has Donald Trump done for black people that you could convince a black person to vote for him, somebody who doesn't like him?
All right. I have a saying on the Republican side that I went viral on the news or Fox News about. I said, don't look at his policy, don't look at his personality, look at his policies. Donald Trump is the only president that funded HBCUs. He's the only president that let black people out of jail on a reform criminal justice program. He also wrote Juneteenth. He also is trying to fund black businesses. He's trying to give everything. This man ain't doing pandering. He's doing promises. And his promises are solid. His promises he actually keeps because he wants to get in office. That's another thing black people need to realize. The Republican Party is desperate for minority. They need the minority vote. So they're not trying to give out empty promises. They're actually trying to give out legislative bills. So Donald Trump said, you know what, I'm going to write. He was in office for 4 years, and we still got that 10-year funding for HBCUs. We got it right now with him out of office. Just imagine if he get back in. He probably extended I probably can talk to him. He probably can extend that for another 20. You think they want him to do that for black people? You think they was okay with him writing 10 years funding for HBCUs? They can't wait till that 10 years up so we can go back to begging again. You think they want him letting black people out of jail? You know how many people got out of jail off of his reform, criminal justice reform platform? And then he black businesses. He damn near started Black Wall Street back up again. And if you really look right now, his opportunity zones, he has the opportunity zones nationwide. Not only will it come to Baltimore, Lady J, it will come to Chicago. It will come to Detroit. It will come to any urban city that needs revitalization. That's part of my platform running for City Hall. It's right in West Baltimore. He's planning on revitalizing West Baltimore in the Mondawmin Mall area. I say we take that deal. We take that deal while it's on the table, and we take it now and run with it. He's gonna be only in office for another 4 years maybe, and then you got to run for election. Then we got to go through this craziness all over again. But anything that he writes for us, the ink is gonna dry and the promise is gonna be kept, and we're gonna get it. If any black person want to know what are we getting out of this deal, we're getting solid bills signed. We're getting permanent funding for our schools that last for 10 years, a decade. If we get another decade, that's a generation of permanent funding of black education schools that do not have to compete with white schools and do not have to beg. Only thing you're doing in the Republican Party is begging. I'm done with the begging. I'm done with black people begging, and I'm standing up for our conservative rights. We should switch to the Republican Party now, and we should stand behind Donald Trump with everything we got. Not only am I saying that, Louis Farrakhan said, let Trump do what he had to do. That was what Louis Farrakhan said. Dr. Umar Johnson said, Nancy Pelosi in the Democratic community sold us out. What do you think that they're going to do to us when they get back in? Condoleezza Rice standing up for Republican values. Dr. Ben Carson. We're not listening to our scholars and what they're saying. Every last one of them. I met Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Boise Watkins. They all leaning, and also Dr. Kanye West. They all leaning towards saying vote for Donald Trump. They're going very short of saying it without giving him a full endorsement because they scared of losing their power in their congregations and their platforms like Dr. Umar and Vincent Farrakhan. But they all saying on the low vote for Trump. All of them.
So you think that there are black people who are secretly, when they go behind that curtain, they secretly voting for Trump once they get behind the curtain, but afraid to say it because they don't want to get what you're getting right now. They don't want to
Yes,
get that. I hear
yeah.
you. Yeah,
And
I
that
hear you.
Malcolm X said that makes us a pump. I'm sorry, a chump like race. A chump like
Hmm.
Malcolm X said that. Even Malcolm X from the grave said that. And I know he wasn't so hard on the Republicans either, but he said if you're a liberal and you giving your vote away to the Democratic Party, they sold you out. You're nothing but a chump. And he put on top of that a traitor to your race. Those ring words, they mean a lot more right now. I think we should bring Malcolm X to the Republican Party and let those words ring out clear to all you people out there voting liberal and get nothing. They know they ain't getting nothing for it, Lady J. Lady J, you can't even get some of these politicians on your show. You can't even get
Right.
them on your show. So I can't see that we should be so loyal to a party that ain't been loyal to us. And the only thing they give us is pandering when Donald Trump is giving out legislative bills, things
Hmm.
that we actually want. He's given us prison reform. He's given us HBCU funding and funding our jobs and revitalizing our neighborhoods. I say we take that deal and run with it right now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to some of these comments in here. We got comments from a lot of comments from Steve Copeland. He said, I guess he's asking you, so what? They're framing Trump. So I'm gonna let you come back and answer that. What did Trump own? College shutdown. And then he said, write, he said, write, I think he's saying write a bill and please stop complaining. And then, hey, Van says she's in the room. Stephen Copeland said, yup, and stop throwing the white man in black people's faces. Okay, so you take all of this in, Chris. He
I
said,
will.
good luck. He said, black people hear everything the white man be saying, and good luck with that type of approach towards black people. He said, a black Trump supporter and oh no, wait a minute. This is another Steve. Okay, I'm coming to you, Steve Carter. Hold on. He said, Stephen Copeland said, wow, my brother, you are deep. Steve Carter says you're a black Trump supporter and a MAGA coon, a MAGA coon.
Respond to it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. It's your turn.
All right. Okay. First of all, that's childish, antiquated, outdated, 1950s talk. Okay. He's
Hmm.
he's in fear. Steve is in fear, and I'm not hating on. That's another thing. We can't go back and forth the house, the coons against the field Negroes. The field Negroes are outdated. Let us take the lead now. Let you guys ain't got. You had 50 years out there trying to get us progress, and here we sit nowadays. Here we sit nowadays, still begging. Sir, stop. Shut that nonsense up, sir. Everything you said about white. I bet you this guy's gonna go out and vote for Joe Biden like the first day. He probably already voted or early voted for a white man. The same people that telling you don't vote for one white man is voting for another white man. So who's a sellout? Who's a sellout and who's a coon? I hate to say it. I hate to say it. The pendulum has switched, and a lot of black people like him just haven't noticed it. But it's more smart African American conservatives that are switching, and the independent blacks that are hearing this, they're switching too. So he's in an antiquated state of mind. So I can't really respond to him. I hope he wakes up because that don't sound like woke talk. That don't sound like woke talk if you're voting for one white person over another. And you're gonna sit here and tell me because you so scared of one because the media told you that. Well, that's another thing. If you're still listening to the media that's been bought, that's why I'm on here on Lady J. The media won't let most of us on talking this
Hmm.
because the media
Hmm.
wants black people to stay asleep like him, like Chris Carter. Chris Carter just as asleep
Hmm.
as most black people. He represents most of the liberal black people today that Malcolm X was talking about. That's a traitor to his race. And let me tell you
Hmm.
something about the word coon. Well, this ain't your granddaddy's coons, baby. Have you watched Guardians of the Galaxy? This is Rocket Raccoon, baby. We ain't just ain't your granddaddy's coons. We are new, improved, and we the ones that should take the lead now. You guys should go sit down. You guys had your chance. You should go sit down somewhere and be quiet. You failed at what you're supposed to do for the black race. The black race don't have the progress that it needs. In fact, Dr. Claude Anderson, who I've talked to, has told me that don't let no one ever tell you that we're progressing while they begging for another 4 years of Joe Biden. He says that we're 50 years behind. Okay, so Donald Trump is trying to catch us up with legislation. I'll take that legislation from one white man while you trying to take nothing from another white man. Steve, thank you for your comment. Yes, I'm deep, and I know Steve. You notice how all the comments are going, Lady J. White this, white that. None of them are on any kind of intellectual level because we've been indoctrinated and dumbed down in a race. So some of these things that you're asking me to respond to that I'm supposed to be in fear of, I'm not going to be because he's in fear. They're in fear, and they represent a race of people that's in fear that will say, "Oh, white supremacy. They're gonna put us back in chains." I mean, when Joe Biden said that, if you ain't black, don't if you don't know who to blow for, you ain't black. Don't call somebody Uncle Tom. Y'all some weak some outdated thinking. Come on, wake up, people. Wake up. Even God trying to tell you to switch parties. Even God. The pendulum is switching. You're on the wrong side of things. You need to vote different. You need to leverage you don't even have no political strength. You don't know nothing about what's going on at the border. They're trying to let other Negroes in that then they're gonna dump them right in your lap, and then you got to compete for their vote. So shut up with that white supremacy. If anything, you're on the side of white supremacy, and the only coon that's on here is you. And most people want to call us coons and Uncle Toms. You know, Uncle Tom. I'm gonna tell you this is how bad the education is. Uncle Tom was a hero, Lady J.
I know.
Wasn't even
Yeah. I did a show about
Sambo.
that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. To
So you
educate people on that.
right. If you can't even get the insult right, then don't expect me, somebody on a conservative level with the progress, that's trying to give you the progress, to stay low in the gutter. I hate to use that word; it's been used on your show too, what gutter snipes. But I'm not gonna. I will help you out, but as when I get in office. But some of you people have low level frequency thinking, and that's not your fault. Your education, Giovanni is fighting the education system now because they've been dumbing the Democratic Party, who has people in there, has been dumbing your school. They won't even fire Dr. Sandra Lisa Rice. Everybody from that's outside of Brandon Scott is calling for this lady to be fired because she's miseducating your children. That's antiquated talk that he's talking and outdated, and I can't afford to listen to it. And I don't expect anybody on this line this white boogeyman talk when you're supposed to be God said you're more than a conqueror. God says you're the chosen people, and that you're supposed to the pro-black people are saying that you're the chosen people and you got black power and you're supposed to be fighting the system and you're not doing it. You're going to run out and vote for it. You're the sellout, sir, not me.
Okay. And then Steve, this is Steve Carter again. He said, lock up Trump, vote blue, and stay wake. That's his
You hear what he's
advice.
saying? You hear what he's saying? It makes no sense. Stay awake. Vote for the same thing that he's been voting for ever. He don't have nothing. People like him offend me. People like him are offensive to the black. He has nothing to show for what he's talking about. Nothing. The party he can't name. Tell him name one. I dare him name one thing that he got from the last 4 years of the Biden administration. One thing. I dare him to name one thing, and don't say healthcare, which Obama gave to everybody. That's the reason it's called universal healthcare. It goes to everybody. Name one thing that you got for your race. I can name three things you got from Donald Trump when his 4 years, his measly 4 years down. But Biden's been in office damn near forever. He old as dirt. He's been in office damn near forever. And Biden gave us 100% crime plan, lock up 90% black people. Trump gave us prison reform, HBCUs, and revitalizing the community and offering more of that stuff, more of the same on the plate. Now, he can't name one thing for him to be woke. He's not woke. What he's doing is sleepwalking. A lot of them that so-called woke have got that term is a Christian term, by the way. It's a spiritual term. It's happened before. It's in the Bible. It's in the book of Revelation where people are supposed to be waking at a certain point and take back the community and stuff like that. These people, it's just a slogan on their side. They just running around. We woke, 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 made it a slogan. People on my side that really switched from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party are really the awakened. We had to go to a critical thinking mindset and argue and fight within ourselves with God's spirituality, with this woken universal thing that comes from God. We had to wrestle. I remember when I first became awakened, I was in church in New Shiloh sitting, and God was telling me votes, and I said, "God, really, Trump?" That's how asleep I was. But after a while, when I started wrestling with God and wrestling with my flesh, which most of them ain't even doing, most of them are saying no church, which is what the same thing the Democratic Party is saying because they don't want you waking up. They ain't woke. They're not woke. It's just a slogan party platform. They don't even know that Black Lives Matter. There's so much stuff that will rise up. Black Lives Matter is an astroturf organization, a gay organization to weaken you down as men. So I don't want. They're not woke, Lady J. So I hope Steve Carter realized that. He said in the same sense, I'm gonna repeat it. What he said. He said, "Vote blue, stay woke, and vote blue for Biden, a white man." What he just said was vote for a white man, another white man anyway, that had the same plans that they had before we was woke, and vote for a white person because we all woke vote blue. Yes, stay. He basically said stay the same. That's what he said. I'm not with that, and no black person should be what he said.
So your belief is that Donald Trump is, for example, when he was in office before, that he was really moving us forward as a race, that he was moving us forward. Because Chris, Because I'm out there a lot talking to people, and people were telling me like even back then, um, they still didn't have the money that
That's not
they
true. That's not true.
this
But go ahead.
this is what they were saying. Everything was going up. They felt like Donald Trump was putting money into white people's hands, building up the white community, and leaving the black people suffering. This is
Then
this
they
is
don't
what people are
remember.
saying to me.
Then they
This is
don't
what people
remember it
saying.
was the lowest. You can fact check me. Lady J, fact check me. Steve Carter, fact check me. Lowest unemployment ever. We make excuses in the black race because we're so scared of white supremacy, which doesn't exist, by the way. It's white dominance. No such thing as white supremacy. The Bible don't call no one supreme. You've been fooled by whites. Whites, oh, we're supreme than you. We coined the phrase. I think it was Mena Farrakhan that coined that phrase. We need to change that phrase. There's no man supreme over top of you. That's black conservative thinking, sir. Um, Donald Trump, when he was in office, fact checked me. We had lowest unemployment. The black people back then were saying, well, we had to get 2 and 3 jobs. Well, those jobs was available. Right now, inflation went so high that you can't afford. And then he told you that. He wrote stimulus checks out. I mean, what more do you have to? I know we're asleep, so we wouldn't have a spiritual movement called awakening if we wasn't asleep. But that's sleep talk, sleepwalking thinking that person. We didn't have no money. And he wrote, you can fact check me. Any scholar, have him on your show. Black scholars will tell you that the man had a permanent funding for HBCUs, and he a prison reform program where he let Steve Copeland out back home because of him. Steve Copeland back home, I think they can't lock people up like they was doing under Biden and Obama. They can't lock people up like that no more. When they do stuff like that, they consider us the problem and they make you think you're the problem. You're the problem. Your communities are so bad because of you. Donald Trump didn't say that. He said, I'm going to put money in. Yes, he's putting, and that's one thing you're right. Donald Trump did put money in white people's pockets. And I'm not here to defend Donald Trump. Those policies we need, though, in the black community. And yes, Lady J, you're right. We actually moved forward for 4 years. Forward so much that they woke Joe Biden up out the basement. That man old as dirt. There's no way in hell black people should have voted for him and voted that man in. We were struggling then. That was the awakening period. And more black people Donald Trump got a historic black vote. That's another thing the media black media blackout on. He got more black votes than I think Obama. And no, I'm sorry, any other white president did in history. If you ask Donald Trump, he'll say more than Lincoln, but he don't know that far back. But that man was trying to move us forward. And we stupid talking about we don't want the progress. I'm sorry, black people, don't call yourself woke. Don't call yourself woke if you're still voting the same way and you're still voting blue, like Mr. Carter said. Mr. Carter is not woke. He is what Malcolm X would have called. He's the kind of person that Harriet Tubman would have had to put down while they was trying to run from the Underground Railroad to the North. And mind you, the South was Democrat and the North was Republican. We're trying to run back that Underground Railroad. I'm trying to lead us back to prosperity with Donald Trump. And people like him are still trying to go back to Joe. He can't name one thing Joe Biden has done for him or the black race. I'm sorry, he can't.
Well, Stephen Copeland said you're praising Donald Trump.
I'm not praising Donald Trump.
He said you're praising Donald Trump more than you lifting up Jesus Christ.
I did not say that, Steve Copeland. We're talking about an election right now. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And then he's wrong. Lady J, didn't I just say that this awakening thing is from God, and God is telling us to shift? Didn't I just say that? Mm-hmm. The praise goes to the Lord. It doesn't go to any president, no president, and not Donald Trump. And I also said that Donald Trump is only going to be there for 4 years. I said we should take the legislation. Listen, Steve, do not push us back, sir. Don't hold us back. Let us go forward.
Van Green said, Christopher Anderson, how do you feel about the criminal system of being wrongfully convicted, felonies? How do you feel about the juveniles committing crimes? What would you change and be different?
Well, first of all, I would definitely grab that. And while we got a chance, that's why I say people should take the deal. I definitely would grab that prison reform program that Donald Trump got, and those people wrongly convicted will be let out. You know how many marijuana has been criminalized in the black? I support marijuana legislation. From far as an economic, not recreational, but medical. Montel Williams said, we not listen to our black people. We're not listening to we call our black scholars coons. That's why I take it. I'm in good company. We call our black scholars coons, sellouts, and everything. And we listen to low level rappers and stuff like that. Montel Williams has been trying to get medicinal marijuana into the black community to heal some of us for a very long time, and yet the government's been locking us up for it. Guess who's letting people? Guess who legislature let people out on that? Donald Trump. His 4 years. Fact check me. Fact check me.
Mm-hmm.
People
Mm-hmm.
got out of jail on those programs. You know how many people we can let out of jail if Donald Trump introduces that legislative again, which he will, which he will. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of low level crimes, they was letting people. Maryland, he was doing damn near the same thing Marilyn Mosley was doing, even though them two are at odds with each other. But he was
Mm-hmm.
letting people out on low level crimes too. So if that's what he had to do to get in office to get the black vote, I think he'll do it again. So that's what I would champion. I would champion doing that myself. We need, and not only that, giving people licenses, which Governor Westmore. We need black people with medical marijuana licenses to open up some distilleries and some dispensaries in the black community, which not happening. White people not happening. I mean, I don't know what our so-called pro-black legal, our liberals, our Democrats. I'm sorry, they're not on your side. The
Mm-hmm.
first thing that should have happened was they should have let those marijuana licenses go to those people that was wrongfully convicted and in prison. That's what I would do. And that's the plan I'm working on.
Now, Van is one of the people that I was talking about. Now, she made a comment and she said Biden better give me my food stamps back because we were having a conversation and her food stamps were cut drastically. So, now again, do you think that this is something that Donald Trump is going to change? Because Chris, if I remember, I think Trump was talking about, cutting some things because he felt like people. He didn't say black people, but he felt like people were too dependent upon the system, and so he was beginning to pull some things back. Can you make a comment on that?
Yes, I can. We better worry about where the white supremacy at. We better worry. Yeah, Biden, give Biden those food stamps. And I'm sorry, Van, if that's the only thing that we hoping for in this election is more food stamps, I can't call us woke. I can't call us
Mm-hmm.
woke. That's an antiquated policy that came back from Lyndon B. Johnson. The whole black
Mm-hmm.
people back. The whole black people back. We can do better than that. Donald Trump is offering black-owned businesses, black-owned funding for businesses, revitalization for neighborhoods, prison reform, HBCUs, funding. We need to take advantage of that stuff before we worry about food stamps. Do I think they're going to cut food stamps? Yes, both parties. Both parties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Both parties. We shouldn't be looking for that no more. We should be advancing. We should not be saying we want a crutch to hold us more behind. Lyndon B. Johnson said, I will have those black Negroes voting Democrat for the next century by giving us food stamps. And he damn sure did it. Held us back, broke up families and homes. And we got black people still championing food stamps. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I want more than that for my race. I want HBCU funding. I want black owned businesses to be revitalized. I want Black Wall Street built again. I want a prison reform, HBCUs. I do not want food stamps and just imaginary. I'm sorry, Lord forgive me. It's not imaginary holiday. I want more than food stamps and a symbolistic holiday. Okay. We need something of substance. We need bills and legislation voted in our favor. And Donald Trump's willing to do that, and Joe Biden is not. You should know that about the first thing he did when he got in office. The last time he wrote an Asian crime bill for the Asians, and I don't even think they voted for him. So I mean, wake up, people, and look. Really call yourself, become awakened, and stop being woke. Woke is just a state of sleepwalking. That woke is not
Mm-hmm.
what you think it is. That's a state of sleepwalking. Really become awakened.
All right, and then we have TH. He said, "I'm from Chicago and voting red." He says, "We're fed up." So that's TH. Thank you, TH, for your comment. Steve
And he's
Copeland
woke.
said, Steve Copeland said, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, and one Jesus Christ. And he said Donald Trump borrowed $175 million because he's broke. That's from Stephen Copeland. Listen, so I want to talk about something else when it comes to the Republican Party. Um, because especially in my age group, we were taught not to vote Republican. We were also taught that Republicans are only for white people. They're only for their white race. There's nothing good that's going to come out of me voting as a Republican. Also, it was all like more like a good old boys network. So that's why you get the name calling, because people are pretty much saying to you, like, you're rallying for them, but it's a good old boys network that you're never going to fit into. They will use you to bring black people in, but black people are looking at you like you're doing all this rallying and you're doing Trump, 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 Trump. But at the end of the day, if Trump gets into office, nobody's backing you. It's like you are that puzzle piece that's kind of connecting the you're trying to connect the black Democrats. Sorry, you're trying to connect the Democrats and into the Republican Party. You're trying to connect the two, merge the two, and people are saying why? Because at the end of the day, you're saying Democrats are not doing anything for us and they're just using us for the vote. Republicans are as well. And the
Um,
only thing that we've been taught is that Republicans are
let me,
racist.
okay. So first of all, that's antiquated thinking, and yes, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm not a sellout. That's why I'm not a
Mhm.
sellout. I'm not in this for a checker. I really care about my race and my community, and I'm telling my race and community what they should be thinking. And some people agree. It's
Mhm.
happening slowly, but it's going to happen. We're going to wake up. I'm not a sellout. I'm not in this for my own personal gain. I'm trying to tell you guys the truth. That's why I said fact check me. Am I wrong? Am I lying? But people listen. Even in their sleeping, and even our sleeping state, people know that they're being ripped off by the Democratic Party. And yes, we're not going to get much with the Republican Party, but right now there's a deal on the table. Take it. Wake the hell up. I'm sorry, wake the heaven up. Wake the heaven
Mhm.
up. It's not about Donald Trump. It's about the deal for the black race, the urban plan that's on the table right now. Fact check me. Ask Dr. Umar. Ask Farrakhan. Ask Farrakhan. Say, Farrakhan, why did you say let Trump go? Let Trump go in there and do what he had to do. He'll tell you. He say he's fighting the same war now that we're fighting, because why do you think they're trying to lock that man up? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm not caping for Trump. People look. I would tolerate our people sleepwalking for a little while longer because I'm fully awake. But I'm not going to sit here and answer questions that you already know the answers to. You already know that you've been ripped off. You can't, what are you running back to? Listen, I'm gonna tell you something about waking up. It's a hard thing to do in the morning when your alarm clock go off and you got to go to work and you don't want to go. You don't want to go, so you hit that snooze button and you go to sleep just a little bit more. That's what I hear people doing. Please, I was there. Let me just run back to because it's so comfortable with the Democratic Party, but they screwing you with no grease. You already know it. I'd rather take that than whatever. I can't move forward to something different because we might get screwed even harder. When that's not even. That's why Joe Biden can say to you, "You're not black." They're going to put you back in chains. Man, we've been out of slavery. We didn't need Juneteenth to tell us we was free. The slavery was emancipation was that's been eradicated in our Constitution. They cannot put you back in chains. Let them stop scaring y'all. Y'all people are really gnawing yourselves back to sleep to a state of 50-year thinking. Dr. Claude Anderson is right. You're 50 years behind in your own antiquated thinking. Wake up hardcore. Shock yourself out of there. Throw some water in your face. Electrocute yourself if you got to wake up. To wake up, people. Listen, there's a deal on the table. I say take it. Take it from the Republican Party while they still got a chance to offer it. The Democrats ain't offering you nothing for your vote. They expect it willingly. They expect it willingly from them indoctrinated, sleep black people. And not only do they expect it willingly, they trying their best to put you back to sleep. They're saying stuff like, "Oh, if you ain't black, you ain't black. If you ain't voting for me, you ain't black." They doing stuff like taking a knee in front of the whole. Nancy Pelosi Bailey could get her old ass up off that floor that day. She almost died on that floor. She taking a knee. Half the people in there almost died. That white people. I want to see black people taking it. You ain't see no blacks taking a knee with them. A lot in mass. You didn't see no blacks. They look more like sellouts than anything you can call me or anything on the Republican side. They look like sellouts when they do that. I wish you had that picture, Lady J, of all of them taking a knee. And Nancy
Mhm.
Pelosi damn near died. She couldn't get up off the floor. They took the camera away. Half them old white people couldn't get up off the floor while they lying to you. I think Maxine Water old ass was down. Auntie Maxine was. I hope and pray to God she wasn't trying to sell us out too. That's what they trying to do to y'all and put y'all back to sleep. It's time for y'all to wake up and look at it and say, you know what? At least, at least, at least, I'm going to vote different just to tell them not to take my vote for granted, which we know that they have been doing. You can't leverage power like that. You can't beg. You can't there's a saying in the pro-black community. No one's ever got their freedom by begging. No one's ever got their freedom by asking them, the same people that you say that you don't have your freedom from, to give you, just beg for your freedom. They're not going to do it. Okay, you should know that by now. You know that's the truth. I would say vote Republican just to damn near stick it to their ass one good time. I'm sorry to curse. I would say vote for Republican just to stick it to their ass one time. I say throw Donald Trump at him like a war machine. Throw Donald Trump at him like a war machine to screw that whole system up, because that's a whole system. We found systemic oppression. It's in the school system. And it's some Republicans that actually agree. I had a fundraiser a while back, and it's some, you was there, Lady J. It's some Republicans that actually agree that systemic Republican, a small minority of Republicans will say systemic oppression is in the school system. At least they know the school system is indoctrinated. That's where we getting. They trying to the Republicans, and if you look at it, really, if the Republicans and the Democrats are trying to fix the school system because they cannot afford to have black people misindoctrinated anymore. The Republicans are waking them up. That repair their school system to have them for votes, and the Democratic system are waking them up to halfway put them back to sleep with DEI and everything like that, to tell them that racism, both of them, it's all racism that they're both dealing with. I say they put their minds together and work on it, but I say we throw our vote behind someone else just to screw that system up one time, like COVID did. COVID did shut everybody down. Everybody woke up and had to rethink. That was God. Steve Copeland, I said God. That was God and Jesus. I say we do it again as a people just to stick it to them, because they've been sticking it to us for far too long.
Now, Chris, let me ask you this.
I'm a black revolutionary. Go ahead.
Because when you are in office, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, but when you are running for office, especially the highest office, in our country, being the president, don't you think that person should be an example? Okay.
No.
For example, when Barack Obama was running, he definitely was an example for our black boys, to let them know that it's possible for you to become president of the United States. Now we have this man, Donald Trump. We're talking about him becoming president. And this man is currently in court for so many different things. And one of them is for sexual harassment. Like, how is he an example, and what makes him eligible in your mind to hold the highest office of the United States, after we see him on the screen every single day? And if you don't see it on TV, it's coming across your phone. What makes him, like, how do we separate the two? How are we going to
Very good question.
separate him running for office, but yet until we see him, and we're going to vote for him too, but we see
Yeah.
him paraded on the screen every day?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Very excellent questions that you have, Lady J, as a chaplain and a journalist. Very good, excellent questions. Number one, no, he shouldn't be no example. No. Barack Obama was the example. We are past the waking up and example. Well, how many more examples do we need to show us that we are chosen people that are loved by God, that we should do something at this point? At this point, I need something. We don't need no more examples. We don't need no more examples. We don't need no more. Ben Carson was an example. Malcolm X was an example. Dr. King was an example. President Kennedy was an example. Barack Obama was an example. We don't need no more examples. We need legislators. We need bills. We need stuff written in our favor. And by the way, you saying Donald Trump is on trial. A lot of people are forgetting that what's his name is on trial too. He got just as many cases. Did you know that? His son is on trial.
Yeah.
Biden. Mm-hmm. He's on trial. Got the exact same amount. Listen, black people. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. Wake up. They both are on trial for the exact same things. Both of them. One of them is hiding. Joe Biden said he's too. Remember, he said he's not fit to stand trial because he copped out. Said he's seen now, and why do we want to vote for somebody that can't even stand his own trial? We want that person to run the country. He's on trial too. They caught cocaine in the White House for the very first. Whose cocaine is that? That's called asleep. That can't be woke. It's not one person on trial. It's two presidents on trial. Mm-hmm. There are your two choices. Both of them are on trial. One of them is on trial for selling secrets, Joe Biden. One of them is on trial for harboring secrets in his house, Donald Trump. One of them is on trial for his son. And we know, his son, Joe Biden, had a nerve. That's white supremacy. He had a nerve to say on national TV, you better give my son that money. I'm going to be president. You better give my son that money, Russia. or you better give my. He said that we got that on tape. On tape, you better give my son that money. You better give my son that money, or you could wait till I get become. And they gave his son. That's treason. He's on trial for that. They're both on trial. It's only one of them the media is covering. Let that sink in. You're being slowly put back to sleep. Both of them are on trial. Am I wrong, Lady J? Can you fact check? Is that? Am
No,
I wrong
they're
about that?
both yeah, both of them are in trouble. Yeah, it's a lot
Both
going
of them.
on both sides. Yeah, it's a lot
Both
going on
of
both.
them.
But
We only
I
one of
think
them is only on the news every day. Only one of them. Why isn't Biden on? Why isn't his trial being publicized? Just like, boy, y'all better listen. Y'all better wake the heaven up. Better wake the heaven up. One of them
but
is for
Chris,
you, and one of them's
this is
against you. Go ahead.
this is my thing, and you're right. Both of them are in trouble. They've been back and forth in the news, but Trump puts himself. See, yesterday when I was on, down in Louisiana, and something came across my phone, and it was basically saying that he better stop talking. The judge keeps telling him to be quiet.
Yeah,
He keeps talking. So
yeah,
he puts himself in the news. He puts himself out there all the time. And so I can't really feel sorry for the man because he's
no.
putting himself out there. I don't know if this is his way of getting attention or if he needs the camera on him at all times. I don't understand it, but he has so much stuff that he's in trouble for. Be quiet, you know. And this is why a lot of people are looking at him like, I don't know, like, is I've heard people say he's crazy.
That's this part, Lady J. I can talk to, and I agree with. President Trump, first of all, has always had this problem, even when he was before president. The man don't know when to put the tweets down or nothing. You got to realize who he was. He was the apprentice guy. He lives on camera, sir.
Mhm.
They telling you to be quiet. Listen, nothing can be held against you in a court of law unless you have the right to remain silent. He's not taking that right
He's
at
still
all.
talking, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's him. That's part of his personality. I say ignore that. He can defend his own self. He got enough money. He's got enough clout. He's running for president to defend his own self. That part is on
Hmm.
him. We can't do nothing
Hmm.
about that part. But he's writing legislative in our favor. I'm talking about just the presidency. His own lawyer probably telling him to be quiet, but he don't. He don't want to be quiet. But that he's always had that problem. We can't do nothing about that at his age now. That's set in his way. He's stuck in his ways. But
Hmm.
he's not going through nothing that Joe Biden ain't going through. Joe Biden, look,
Hmm.
at least he's transparent. We see everything, like you said, it's coming across your phone. We see everything. You're not seeing what Joe Biden is doing in court. You're not seeing what Joe Biden's doing in court. Matter of fact, Joe Biden lied to the American people and said, "I can't stand trial because I'm mentally I got old timers. I can't stand trial." We got Trump sleeping in court and Joe Biden ducking court because he know damn well he can't function in court because he can't. He'll say the wrong. He might forget who he is. He might forget. They might ask him a question. Listen, the reason why they not putting the Biden case on trial is because the man probably forget his court date. I mean, they protecting
Chris,
him.
Chris. Stop.
It's the
So,
truth. You know it. It's the truth. You know it.
but they're both old. They're both old. I will say that Trump is a little more spry. Like, I don't know what that man takes because his energy is like always up. But another thing that people are afraid of is, you remember Hitler, right? And
Yeah.
you remember what Hitler did. People are saying Donald Trump's views and opinions are equivalent to Hitler, and they're afraid that he's going to become a dictator once he is in office, because
You hit me.
everybody's afraid of Trump. I don't know what this man has on people,
The,
but you
the,
got
the
people
media.
going to jail for him. You got
The
people that
media.
won't speak up. Like, that's a street code. Like, I'm gonna go down. I ain't gonna say
Yeah.
nothing. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
quiet. And you got people going to Trump, going to prison, and this man is still walking around. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I'll explain. That's the black street code, by the way. That's the black street code
That's
that
a
he's
black
working
street
on.
code. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Wake up,
Don't
people. Wake up.
snitch. Don't
That's the black
snitch.
street code he's
Yes,
working on.
yes.
Now, they're doing that because some people know the truth. And what you said earlier, you said, what did you repeat what you said earlier? I wanted to respond to that. You said that he's people are going to jail for him and stuff like that.
Yeah. because
These
they have an opportunity to speak up. Chris, they know some of his secrets, but people would rather go to sit in prison. And then one thing that he did say is when he gets into office, he's letting the people out, especially the ones that were in the
out
insurrection.
of
He's letting those
jail,
people out.
out of jail,
Yeah,
right with
he
everybody
said
else.
he's gonna let
Okay,
them out. But these people,
that's a good thing, not a bad thing. That's a good thing,
but
not a bad
Chris,
thing. That's a
Chris,
good thing, not a bad thing.
these people
Pookie
stormed.
got out of jail. Lady J. Pookie got out of jail when he was in office. Lady J. Let them all
Chris,
out.
Chris, these
Lady J. He
people.
let us out too. Lady
But
J. Is
do
that a
you
fact?
understand that you don't have the right to go and storm? Those are government buildings, government offices. That's why they have security placed everywhere. You don't have the right to climb the building, storm the office, go in there with guns. You don't have the
I
right to
agree
do
with
that.
you on that. I
And
agree with you
he
on that.
he said,
He's a
he said,
rebel. He's a
he,
rebel. You
but
know
he
how long
said,
black people have been talking? Lady J, I'm gonna have to cut you. You know how long black people have been talking about storming the Capitol? Well, were we bluffing? Were we
but
bluffing?
did we do it? Did we do it?
No, maybe that's why we behind. Maybe that's why
And
we
you
behind.
know
The
what?
whites took
And
it.
you
So the whites took it. The whites said, "Damn it! If they won't do it, we'll do it." They doing our job for us, Lady J, and doing it better than
Chris,
us. They fighting the
Chris,
same fight we're fighting. They're fighting the
Chris.
same fight we're fighting. They're fighting the same fight we've been fighting for 50 years. He fought in 4 years, Lady J. Why are we've been talking about storming the black people, pro-blacks been talking about hands up, don't shoot, black power. We've been talking about storming the Capitol for years. Now we mad that he did it. He did it. Oh my God. Listen, I'm not supporting it. I'm not supporting insurrectionists. But it's a fact that black people have been talking about doing that for decades and never had the balls to do it. Listen, if the man want to fight the system, let him fight the system. And let me respond to that Hitler. I remember that Hitler thing you said.
Right,
That's
becoming
fear
a
talking.
dictator.
Yeah, he didn't do that the last time. The only thing he did was refuse to leave office. He didn't do that the last time. He was having fun being the president. He was letting people out of jail. He was giving everybody what they wanted. He was on TV damn near every day running his mouth. That's what we got to look forward to again. I'd rather take that than high gas prices. I'd rather take that than empty shelves with no food. I'd rather take that than immigration going through the roof. I'd rather take that than lies and more of the same of what the Democratic Party is not offering you. They're not offering us nothing as black people, Lady J, on the table right now to get our vote. That's how sleep we are.
But Chris, he doesn't listen. This is the problem I have with him.
I can't
Okay,
help that. That part
the
that we
the
can't
pro-
help.
the problem I have with him, well, we got to discuss it, because if you're telling us as black people to vote for this man to become president of the United States, but he doesn't listen to anybody. This is why you have a cabinet. This is why you have a press person. This is why you have people around you trying to direct you to tell you what to say, what not to say. But this man, and I'm gonna say it, is like a loose cannon. Like he just
Don't you
does
think
what
we
he
need a loose
wants to
cannon right
do.
now? Don't you listen, Lady J? The first thing he did when he got in office the last time was he didn't even listen to nobody. He started writing the executive orders. Just started giving people this, giving people that. Close the
Mhm.
borders, give the black people this. They don't want him doing that. I'd rather him do that than talk about it all damn day. You know how long we've been talking about giving out an urban crime plan, an urban a plan for black people? They get in office at Auntie Maxine. They sit in these meetings and they talk, 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 talk. Maybe we need a loose cannon in there to get some things done for us
Chris,
for a change.
Chris,
For us for a change, Lady J. Think about us. We got stuff off of that too. We black people got stuff and policies off of that too. Fact check me. We got policies that was historical that we never got before. Maybe we need a loose cannon in there. Westmore got there. First black governor. What did he do? Westmore, first black governor. What did he do? Oh, I'm gonna support Zeke Cohen. What about the marijuana license? Well, the white people get them, but black people will work on it. They do a lot of talking in our favor, Lady J. Lady J, I know
okay.
you. They do a lot of talking in our favor. Maybe we need some loose cannons. Westmore sure ain't no loose cannon. He sure ain't no damn loose cannon. He out there pocketing money for the rich. When they say that we're for the Republican Party is for the rich, you're damn right they are. Shouldn't we be? I'm tired of being for the poor. I'm tired of being. When I say be for the poor, I'm talking about keeping us poor. They just keep us poor. They don't want to give us marijuana licenses to open businesses in the black community. Are you for that? I'm not for that. I'm not for that.
Uh,
I say let Trump go in there and be a loose cannon. I say the same thing Farrakhan say. Let Trump go in there and do what he got to do.
Now let me go to these comments because they coming in now, Chris. Okay, so we got Steve Copeland. He says the Republican Party disappointed me because I didn't lift up Trump. My goal is building up in our poorest communities and citizens. And I want to come back to Steve's comment because I do have something to say about that. Chris Van Green said, but Christopher Anderson, I ain't mad at your opinion, but my opinion matters too, and Dr. Cheatham would agree with me. And then Steve Copeland says, I'm sorry, my brother, you are gone. Van said, Chris, our city leaders will forever keep chains on us and their feet on our neck.
I
And
like
then
her. I like her. She's
Steve
woke.
said, Stephen Copeland said, it's politics, period, Van. It's all how you play the game. And we
One
got
of them's
Van
right and
Green.
one of them's wrong. One of
Okay,
them is
Van.
right and one of them is wrong.
All right, Van Green. Dr. King was a stronger leader and was to me. If you're doing the right things, not robbing and stealing in line. She's saying that about Dr. King. Lisa Perry Ruth, she says he has the right to tell. We are all free to speak. She's talking about Donald Trump. We got Charlotte Eubank says she's talking about Trump. He's a manipulator. That's what he is. Van
We need a
Green
manipulator.
says
We need a manipulator in there right now. Go ahead.
Van Green says, Christopher Anderson, I bet you if you get in office, they're going to they're going to interrogate you for every black person that has been in office. Look who's running them out, and look who's coming back in comfortably. We ain't hear no more about Hogan's messiness either. What's the truth about Hogan's secretary? Now that's a whole nother show, Van, but I like that comment. And for those of you who are watching from other states and countries, Hogan was our governor, and there was some big stuff going on with that. We got Lisa Perry Ruth. She says Trump is exposing the truth. Everything Trump has said has been true. We have a corrupt government. We have a fraudulent election, and the pandemic. She going there. And the pandemic was part of abolished to shut us down. Okay, Lisa
True.
Perry Ruth.
All that is true, and she's right. 100%. Wake up. That's true. Black people. The pandemic. We know it came from the Wuhan lab. It was a chemical attack on America. Some of you people died for that.
All right. We got Lisa Perry Ruth again. She says, what does Trump have on people? What does the elite have on all of our politicians? Van says Marilyn Mosby told the truth too. Look how the city leaders are doing her, Christopher Anderson.
And the
Charlotte said,
Democratic Party won't even pardon her. The party we so loyal to, they won't even pardon her.
and then Charlotte is responding to my comment when I was saying, why are people going to jail for him? And he says, because he has so much dirt on the Republican Party. And that's why people are afraid to
That's
speak
not.
because he
He
can
has so
actually
much
say
dirt
something
on the
about them.
Democratic Party. He has a lot of dirt on a whole bunch of Democrats. Nancy
I think
Pelosi
he has
for
a lot of
starters.
dirt. I think he has a lot of dirt on everybody, to be honest. Lisa Perry
He's
Ruth
not
said,
that.
we
See,
did.
that's where we. I'm gonna have to. That's where we differ. He's not that damn powerful. He's not. He's not. He's not Jesus.
Chris, I think so. I think he is. I think because anytime and these are very highly intelligent professional people that are going down for Trump. I think he has something on them. And
No, they
if they
believe. They
speak up,
believe in his cause. They believe that. They believe
well,
this system needs to
listen,
change. They
I can
believe the
believe in it.
system needs to change.
I'm not going,
People
I'm
died
not,
for
I'm
Dr.
not
King. People died for Malcolm X too. They believe this system needs to change. That's why they're going down. Go ahead.
okay. So Lisa Perry Ruth said we didn't storm the Capitol. The left, and the FBI set us up just like Kennedy. The FBI killed him. She going in tonight. And we got Vance Green who said, Christopher Anderson, I'm gonna make you a part of a pan of my favorite sweet potatoes for being a Trump cheerleader.
I ain't eating no sweet potatoes. She probably put some arsenic in it. Van, I love you. You bet. I ain't eating nothing nobody give me in the next 10 years.
Oh goodness. She said, Christopher Anderson, you acting just like Trump. You need some medicine.
See, what you
Lisa,
talking about putting in them sweet potatoes then?
hey,
Man,
listen, Lisa Perry Ruth says, Lady J, you are saying what the media said. Trump had a perfect economy, abortion market, perfect gas. Me, where can I come? Oh, she said, where can I come to talk to you too? I'm going to open the lines up in just a few minutes, Lisa, then you can talk. Um, yeah, I got you. I got what you were saying. And she said, that's the truth, Chris. Very true. Love it all. We got the Black Sands. The Black Sand says, Chris, you're an enemy to the black race and
No,
the
you are,
BRICS
sir. No,
and the
you are,
BRICS
sir.
Alliance, and
No,
you
you.
dare to offend three black lawyers, Fannie Willis, Alvin Bragg, and Letticy Jones, for defending and protecting the rule of law.
Fannie Willis is a
He
disgrace
said,
to our
thumb
race.
downs
He
to you.
he's asleep, and I can't listen to someone so mind that's so close. He's a traitor. Malcolm X will call him a traitor to his race. Put that, he need to look at that quote from Malcolm X 3 to 4 times in the mirror and repeat it to himself.
All right, and then we got Lisa Perry Bruce says, "Love you, Chris. I love you too, Lady J. Love this open conversation. Thank you both." We got Terry Lynn Smith Sawinski. Trump has it all. He revealed all their dirt. It was a setup. Okay, and
Thank you.
Charlotte Eubanks said most of the old white men were in the poor house rhythm. Van Green says, Christopher Anderson, you know I love you. Now, this is the thing, Chris, and I got to talk about this before we go to the phone lines, because
Can I
you and
say
I,
something real quick before you
yeah,
go
yeah,
though?
go
That
ahead,
that that
go
that
ahead.
one negative comment, that realize how antiquated that is. We got to stop. That person's thinking 50 years behind, like Dr. Claude Anderson, and say, listen.
You talking about the Black Sands comment?
Yes, listen
Yeah.
how that sounds. Antiquated and old and outdated.
Okay, he
Most
said, let
people
me read it again. They said, you, I don't know if it's male or female, but they said, you're an enemy to the
listen
black
how that
race.
sounds. That's back in
You're an
Black Panther
enemy.
days. That's not even updated comment. Go on to the next one.
Okay, and then also have a comment from Terry Lynn Smith Sawinski says, I believe Trump made space force forced the sixth branch of the military to film their dirty deeds legally. I believe Trump made Space Force the sixth branch of the military to film their dirty deeds legally. Um, this is the problem I have right here with Trump, because I'm not a Trump lover. Me and you go back and
I'm
forth
not. I'm
about
not
that.
either. I'm not either. I'm a policy
Um,
supporter. But go ahead.
yeah. So the problem I have with Trump is I feel like, when Chris, when you get to a certain age, you should know better. He's he has a great business mind, and I'm gonna say that because I used to actually watch him, and I follow his model of how to do your business, how to stay ahead of other people.
Yes.
That's why I've been able to do this right here, right? So
Yes.
I
We
give
can
him
we can
kudos for
emulate
that.
that. Yes.
I give him kudos for that because what he said was true, and I followed what he was saying.
I'm for
But
being rich too. Yeah. Go ahead.
him running for president and being irresponsible in what he does and what he says, how he acts, that's what I have a problem with, because this is not a TV show. I was watching him on TV when he was doing that on The Apprentice, and when he would talk and give advice when he was being interviewed. But running the United States of America, this is not a TV show. This is not a TV platform. This is real life. You're dealing with you're making decisions as the president of the United States for all of us. And we're all going to be affected by whatever decisions and enactments he puts in place. That's what I have a problem with when it comes to Donald Trump, because I feel like he's so arrogant. You can't tell him nothing. He's going to do his thing no matter what. I
Well,
can't support that. I can't
what
support
does
that.
that have to do with you? What does that have to do with you as
What
far
does
as
it have
voting
to do
for?
with me?
You talking about his personality? Do you like Joe Biden? Then?
But because his
They both.
personality, Chris, but Chris, his
What
personality,
about Joe
who
Biden
he
personality? Do you like
is
Joe? I'm
going to
asking.
affect.
Yes. Do you
Listen,
like Joe Biden personality? I don't like
I
neither
don't
one of
like
their
either.
personalities.
I don't like neither one of their personalities.
I
What I'm
vote for
saying is,
when I vote somebody in office. I vote for policies, platforms to help our community. We have to get off of
but
voting for stars and people that like and like us and stuff like. Well, I'm not voting for that. I'm voting
I
for
can't vote.
change.
I can't. I can't vote for you if you're not going to listen. His mouth is always
You know
running.
that can be
I
fake. You
can't
know
vote for
Joe
you
Biden.
if you're not
You know
listening.
Joe Biden is being censored and told to be quiet. That's why you don't see him on court. So you won't believe the same thing about him. I'm not voting for anybody in their personality, Lady J. I'm voting for change to push us forward.
Right.
Black
And I'm
Sands,
not.
he ain't voting for that. He voting for the same thing that he voting for keeping. I bet you Black Sands. I can't wait till the phone lines open. I bet you Black Sands is voting for Joe Biden. I bet you he is. Another white man. Take the black part off your name, Sands. Just say Sands. Man,
Now let me read what Terry Lynn Smith Sawinski says. She says political correctness ruined our country. I trust him. She's talking about Donald Trump. I trust him more than anybody else. Most people would still be asleep if it weren't for Trump. I was never a Trump supporter, but he is doing the right thing. I disagree.
Farrakhan said,
Terry, thank
let
you
him
for
do
your
what he got to
comment.
do.
Thank you for your comment. But I just disagree. I don't feel like, and it's
Farrakhan
sad that we
agrees.
don't.
Farrakhan agrees.
Who?
Farrakhan said, let him do what he got to do.
Well, you
Let
know
him
what,
mess that
Chris?
system up.
This is what I say. It's sad that we only have those two choices because I don't really like what Biden is doing. I feel like Biden is. It's time for him to retire. It's time for him to sit down.
Yeah.
He's moving slow and he's acting slow. So I feel like you've done your best. Sit down. But
And
then
plus
we
his
have
record ain't that
Trump.
good. Plus his record ain't that good anyway. But go ahead.
We have Trump, who's all the way. This man is just. This is why people are afraid of him because let me tell you something, and this is so true. When he was in office, Chris, we never knew what we were going to wake up to the next day. Like
Yeah,
what
that's
what
it.
was what was he going to say?
It
What
was
was he
fun.
going to do? Like it
Yeah.
was it was like a show.
I can't
And
wait to get
that's
to
not
that.
who you are supposed to be as the president of the United States. That's not who you're supposed to be.
Our bellies was Lady J. Our bellies was full while we was watching it and being entertained, laughing and giggling at them. Our bellies was full. Our cousins was home from jail, and our black schools was funded while we was laughing and critiquing him at the whole time. Right now, with Joe Biden, we being put back to sleep. Our bellies, our refrigerators are empty. Our gas tanks are empty, and we got new strangers that's walking around us that we have no idea where they came from another country. Listen, I'd rather take the tweets. Stop voting for his personality and vote for our progress and change. He's only going to be in there for another couple of years. Another couple of years, I say take the deal. Take that HBCU funding. Take that revitalization through the opportunity zones. Take that urban plan and take that prison reform. Take it while we got a chance. Auntie Maxine ain't doing nothing for y'all. Auntie Maxine been your aunt for a long time, and she don't even come to the black barbecue no more. She don't. She doesn't even care about y'all. The black barbecue has been transformed to Juneteenth, and guess who wrote that? Donald Trump.
Chris, we're always going to agree to disagree when it comes to Trump. We always going to agree to
Fact
disagree.
check. Fact
But
check.
y'all but
Am
y'all
I
listen.
wrong? Am I wrong? Fact check me. I dare anybody on this line fact check me, including Black Sands. Fact check me. Don't just talk out your emotions. Fact check me, not you, Lady J. I respect your platform, but all
Mhm.
those people. Listen, we got more positive. Listen to the comments that you got tonight. They were more on the side of the right than they were on the left.
Okay, now listen, everybody. We got a few minutes left. You get a chance, if you like, to call in and say your piece to Christopher Anderson. The number is 44. It's always fun talking to Chris,
And you can say something
because
bad too. I can handle it. You can say something bad too. It might sound antiquated. It might sound 50 years ago, but I'll take it.
okay. So the number you can call in is 443-297-4753, and you can actually say what you got to say to Christopher Anderson. Now, I do want to say this. I was talking to John Hansborough, who just chimed in, and his mother was actually listening to you the last time you were on, and she was very impressed, very, very impressed with you. And she's not a Republican. And I
That's
think
called
that
woke.
does say a lot, when you have older people who you're able to kind of, sway another way. I think that's good. But listen, okay, we got a caller. Oh man, I missed it. I'm sorry, caller. Call right back. Call right
That's
back,
called
caller.
critical thinking, by the way, Lady J, and a person that's
Yeah,
being
yeah.
awakened. That's
Right.
really woke. Woke ain't doing the same thing, sleepwalking, walking to the polls, voting for more white supremacists. Old
Mm-hmm.
white supremacists like Joe Biden with a track record. That's not woke. Okay, so these people with these antiquated, I can't wait to see some of these antiquated. You're a sellout. You're a sellout. Well, you're a sellout too, sir. You're a sellout too, pal. You've been and matter of fact, you've been a sellout way longer than me. Okay, because you've been running to that poll sleep, voting for your demise way longer than I have, sir. So watch it with those calls. But I'll take them. I'll take them.
All right. So we had a caller. I think they hung up. A caller called back. We're here. We're ready to listen. 443-297-4775. Oh, why y'all calling and hanging up? We had another caller. Don't hang up, y'all.
There
Just
might
go
be something
ahead.
wrong. You sure your phone is not doing that?
No,
I'm
it's here. It
surprised Steve
is. We
Copeland.
got it. We got it. Hold on. Let me
I'm
see.
surprised Steve Copeland ain't called in. He ain't my brother Steve. He gonna call right in. I think Steve just hate Trump. You can't vote like that no more. I think Steve just hate Trump. That's
Well,
all.
there's a lot of people that hate Trump. There's a lot of people that hate
I'm not
Trump.
voting for a friend. I'm not voting for a friend. Man, you shouldn't be either. You shouldn't be either. You should be voting for
Mm-hmm.
a plan for your community, like the
Right.
Asians are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So we have a caller here. I'm gonna go ahead, caller. Caller. Okay. They didn't say anything, so I got to go to the next person. We have a caller.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Chris, this is your baby girl. Let me tell you something right now. You better stop all that foolishness and nonsense because you came down to the Culture Art Center with your Trump shirt on and you ate my banners. We say this. So you keep on running your mouth on my food stamps that you ate. My food stamps, Chris, so you better vote it in because I'm not going to vote you in the office. Okay?
I'll vote for your food stamps. Sorry, caller. I'll vote to
All
reprove
right.
your food stamps. I'll vote
So let's.
to as a compromise, as a man of God, I will support your food stamps for one more round. Sorry about that. We food stamps are for people that are
Hold on,
downtrodden.
caller.
Though we're trying to get them up. Go ahead.
All right, and let me say this: when you call in, please make sure you don't have any of your devices turned up because it's going to give a lot of feedback. So we have another caller here. Go ahead, caller.
Would that be me?
Go right ahead. Yep.
Hi, it's Lisa. How are you, Chris? How are you, Lady J?
Hey, Lisa.
So what are you like sharing right now? Because I've been trying to call, so I'm losing the track of what we're talking about or what you're officially talking about right now. Where are you at?
No, you just go ahead and tell us what you want to tell us, whatever your opinion is.
Whatever my opinion is, look out.
Uh oh.
Well, you had said earlier, Lady J, that Trump is being irresponsible, and I do hear what you're saying in a lot of ways with the way he talks and everything. He does say a lot sometimes, but I think he's woken us up too. And what we really need to look at is what about the people that have been in office for the last 40, 50, 60 years? Have they been responsible with our money or in like extreme debt? And our poorest folks today are even in worse shape. And I'm in a business right now, and business is slow because people don't have the expendable cash anymore. And this is going to be a detriment to all of us because as the businesses slow down right now, they're going to start laying people off, and then more people won't have enough money to go out. So I believe wholeheartedly in what you're saying, Chris, and we need to get Trump back in there because he can get our gas prices back down. We have so many jobs that we could create instantly by starting to drill again, and we need to protect our borders because it's just not it's insanity what we're dealing with right now, and our job market is going to be really messed up, and that was their goal. What are your thoughts?
All right, caller, but we're going to hang up and hear what Chris has to say. Thanks for calling.
Sounds great.
All right.
How come we're not all thinking like that? Think about that, Black Race Warrior. How come we're not all thinking like that? And when she said, "What do you have to think, Lady J?" I think she was talking to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, listen. I don't see it as you both see it. I don't see that, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead with your opinion because this is not
What
me
about the
being here to
gas
be.
prices, the gas and electric bill? What about the food shortages? You got no opinion on none of that?
Chris, I will be honest with you because Me personally, I didn't see the difference. Maybe because I was working so hard, I just didn't see it and I didn't feel it. All I remember about Trump is, and people probably gonna take this the wrong way, I just felt like it was a lot of craziness all the time. It was just
Huh.
always like I never knew what he was going to say, what was going to happen, what is he going to do, what do
Right,
we have
that's
to look
true.
forward to?
That's true.
So
Maybe this time around he'll put most of his policies up front. Maybe he'll put
I
most of his
mean,
policies back up front.
y'all talking like life was like it was a
It was better than
utopia,
what it
like
was
things were
now.
just so great.
It
I
was
don't
better than what
remember
it
that.
is. It was better. You yourself said we had live entertainment. It was better than it was now. It was better than what it was now.
I don't remember that. I'm being honest. I don't remember it being better than it was now. All
Well,
I
fact check it.
remember,
Fact check it. Any more
fact
callers?
check.
Fact check it. Fact check it.
All right,
Fact check it.
we got some more comments. I'm gonna go to these comments, but
Okay.
I appreciate the people that have called in. I'm gonna say we got about 3 more minutes. If you want to get your call in, to talk to Christopher Anderson. And Christopher
Nope.
is always fun to have Chris on here because he will take the blows and he can just continues to roll on. So we have Terry Lynn says she's talking about Trump. He did not sell out our country. It's called creating dependence on the government, Lisa. And she says that's because the MSM created the confusion. So, Chris, let me ask you this while we're going to see if there's any more callers. So you're telling me that when Trump was in office, black people, and Van was talking about our food stamps and everything, you're saying that they were doing much better. Our lower income people were living better, doing much better when Trump was in office. And
Yes, fact check it.
I wish I had someone on here who could
Challenge that.
verify that.
There is no one. There is no one. There is no one. It was the truth. It was the truth. We might have had more jobs, low level jobs, but there were jobs everywhere because the economy. He invested back into the American. This is when the man says he for America first. He invested back into the American economy, and yeah, he rose the deficit by doing it. But what he did, he took the Treasury money and invested it back into the people. And when the Democrats got back in office, they reversed that. That's why we have low jobs now and the shelves are empty because they said we can't afford it because we're so much in debt. Trump said, you know what? I'm gonna put America first. Forget we got enough money to go overseas for wars. He said no more wars, and he put money back into the American economy. So yeah, fact check it. We had more jobs back then. They were low level jobs, but we had them. Black people was complaining, but we had them. Everybody was working.
And let me say this also, because I want to go back to a comment. And Van said, no, it was not better for her when Trump was in office. It was not better. And Van falls into that category that I'm talking about. She says it was not better when he was in office.
Can tell her put a comment up about how it wasn't better for her.
Okay, Van, you
Don't just
heard him.
say
He
it.
said,
Don't just say it. Give us an example.
give him an example of why it wasn't better for you. And this is what I want to go back and say also.
I gave
Now,
examples.
okay, I want to go back to our inner city communities. That's where my heart is. Okay.
Okay.
You have a
Okay.
lot of people in our inner city communities right here in Baltimore City who have never been to Washington, D.C., which is a 30 or 40-minute drive. I've met people who've never been to Annapolis, our state capital. Some people in these communities, Chris, only know what they see in their block or around the corner or in that community. That's all they know. So when you come in as a Trump, as a President Donald Trump, and you start removing food stamps and you start saying, I'm gonna, I'm not saying that he's saying this, but you're saying what these people were telling me is that things were being removed from the economy, from their neighborhoods. And Trump was saying that I'm removing these things because I want you to do better. I don't want you to depend on food stamps. I don't
Right.
want you to live in Section 8. But
Right.
here's my problem. Here's my problem with that. You can't take without teaching. Okay? So you can't take food stamps from me and not have someone in place to teach me how to do better and how to understand that I can live without being on food stamps, that it's possible for me to go to school, that it's possible for me
Right.
to get a higher education. He did not put that piece right there.
He
That's a
did do
big
that.
piece. that
He
you
did
have
do
to
that.
put in. Who was there? Who came? I was in
He
the
did do
communities.
that.
Who
He did do
came
that.
into the communities, Chris, to tell these people, I'm going to be taking away your
Candace
food
Owens
stamps?
came. You know how many people came to Baltimore? Do you know how many Kim Klasick, Candace Owens, people we say we don't like, but nobody else came? I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Who else came? Brandon Strucker. A whole lot of people came.
Listen,
And what you just said about education. Remember, you say the food stamps are gone, and he wanted to empower. That's called black empowerment. He gave to HBCUs. You said schools. He gave to our schools. So now Coppin State is funded. Now Morgan State is funded. So you had the people. He empowered people in the community, and he brought people to the community to
but you
talk to them
can't
at the same time.
empower, and Chris, you know this. You can't empower people in the community if you don't teach them. You can't come in and just say, I want you to do better. I really want you to do better. And I'm going to
Candace
remove these
Owens
food
came
stamps.
and talked. Candace
But
Owens
this is
came.
the thing, Chris. You understand? Come on, Chris. You understand this? That
She
black
came. You said
people.
no one
Let's be
came. She
real.
came.
Let's be real, Chris.
Kim
Okay, let's be
Klasick.
real.
Kim Klasick is still
Who?
here talking. Kim
But
Klasick is
who?
still here.
But who do these? Both of these women, and I have nothing against them. Who do these women endorse? Donald Trump. Okay, so you have to get somebody, and you understand this, that in the black community, they're not very trusting. You can't tell Kim or Candace to come into East Baltimore down on Monument Street, in East Baltimore Monument Street, and go down there and talk to those people and tell them that it's going to be better and we're going to do this and we're going to do. First of all, you're Republican. You're with Trump.
But she did it. But she did it. She walked up and down North Avenue and talked to people. Kim Klasick.
She did it. But what I'm saying
But
to
she
you,
did it.
you
But
can
she
do
did
it.
it.
You can do it. But
When the
you
last
can
time
come.
you seen when the last time you seen anybody do that?
But Chris, what I'm saying is that they can do that, but just because you're doing it doesn't mean that I trust you. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
true. I agree with you
You
on
can
that, but
you
she
can
did it.
walk you can walk up and I've talked to these politicians who are Republican, by the way. You can walk up and down North and Penn all you want to, and you can say whatever you want to say, but that doesn't mean that I trust you.
I agree with you on
And
that.
I've
With
seen,
trust,
and
it's gonna have to be earned.
on the other hand, I've seen these same people run those politicians out of their community because they're saying you don't belong here. You don't look like us. You don't act like us. You're believing in somebody that we don't believe is for us. And so what I'm saying is that when we talk about, or when Trump is talking about, because more than likely he's going to be in office, but you know him. You've had conversations with him. One of the conversations that I hope that you would have with him is to pay people who look like me,
You
who
forgot
look
about the
like
stimulus
me.
checks? You forgot about the stimulus
Listen,
checks?
no, no, no. Listen, let me
His name
finish.
was on them.
Pay pay people, listen to me, pay people who look like me, who are able to go in the community and
Oh,
fit
okay.
into that community. I know how to switch wigs, okay? I know how to switch a wig and go to the biggest, and you've seen me at the biggest Republican events that they have. And then I know how to get my Black Power wig and my other stuff and put that on, and I can walk in East Baltimore, ain't nobody gonna mess with me. I could go up and talk to them, which I have, said different things to them because I know how to switch up. But I
Code
love
switch.
my
What you
people.
talking about is code switching. Kim don't know how to do it,
Listen,
but she came. Kim Klasick.
and
Yes,
I'm not talking about them, but what I'm saying is you have to find people who are able to do that, because these people, if you want these people to support Trump and all of what he's doing, you got to get people like me who are able to do that and go into the community and talk to these people and help them to understand, okay, this is why you need to vote for Trump, this is why he's pulling back. You got to have these community meetings, and you got to say to people, this is why we're asking you to do this. But I feel like the Republican Party wants to come into the cities and they want to infiltrate the cities. But a lot of these people, these very same people, you don't understand what you need to do to talk to the minds of the people. That's the part that's missing. And
yeah.
so this is
But
why there's always a disconnect, Chris. This is
what
why
you
there's
want? Do
always
you
this.
want him to come in? Listen, I hear what you're saying, Lady J. I respect what you're saying, but it's a little. little off. Do you want them to come in? They're coming in as they are. Kim Clayton came in as she was. She didn't know how to code switch. That's be lying. That's pandering. She didn't know how to do it, but she walked up and she talked to people. She almost got her wig split on one day by a drug dealer. Remember North Avenue? She almost got her wig
I
split.
remember. But
Yeah, but
this
she
is what
came
I,
back.
this is why this is what I'm saying. People are not going listen. I'm telling you, you know this. People are not going to trust you if you don't look like them and if they don't believe that you are for them. You can't just come into the community a few times and say rah 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 Trump Trump Trump, but I don't see you out there 2 or 3 times a week passing out food. I don't see you going out there helping the
That's true.
homeless. I don't see you when Christina Flowers had those homeless people under the bridge. I was down there. I didn't see none of these people down there. I was
Dan
in
Cox.
the cold
Dan
with three
Cox.
masks on.
Yeah.
You know, 3 masks on during COVID. People telling me don't go down there. I got 3 masks on.
I
Going
was
down
there.
there. I know you
Mecca,
were, but what I'm
Mecca
saying is that
Muhammad was there.
yes, but what I'm saying, Chris, when these people, these names that you are calling, you can't just come into the community when it's time to vote or when, when we're getting to that point where we
I
know
hear
the
you.
race is about to begin. You cannot, because we're not
I
going to
hear you.
trust you.
I
And
hear
so
you.
those are the things that the Republican Party, Trump, all these people need to understand. If you want the black vote, the black people have to know that you are for them. How do I know that you're for me? When you see that there's a need, when you see all of these black young men getting shot in my city, I see you forming a protest. I see you walking up and down the streets, not just because Trump is running, but because you care. Okay, so that's where I have a problem when it comes to the Republicans, when it comes to this rah 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 for Donald Trump, and I'm gonna come in the community. No, you come in the community when it's time to vote. That's when you come in.
Okay.
And
Well,
so
I'm.
people, and so what do people do? What do people do that they get criticized for? Is the people you say people now woke? People are very much awake, and they see it's like a game to them. And so what they do, they see you coming in when it's time for the vote, when it's time to do this, and it's time to do that. But so what they do is they vote for who they're comfortable with, because they're
That's not.
saying they're saying, you know how they say, I'm not going, I'm gonna vote for the devil that I know instead of the devil that I don't know. And
Stop voting
that's
for
what
them.
people will do because they're not educated. You
Well,
want
I
you
would.
want
I would.
Trump to win? You want Trump to win? When you talk to him again, tell him to start hiring people who know the community, who are able to go in and explain to the community how this man is going to make it better. That's
Okay.
how that's how we can start coming together because you're taking away, but you're not educating me at all. That's the
Okay.
problem that I have when it comes to Trump.
Okay. You told me, we coming up on, and I would like to hear one thing, and I agree with you 100%. When I talk to him again about this issue, oh, you can read that comment. You can read that comment real quick. What that say?
Terry Lynn Smith, and I hope I'm saying your last name right, Terry Lynn Smith Sawinski says, you show by example. In order to show my example, you need to give them a chance. I totally agree with you. Stephen Copeland says that's the problem. They are coming into the inner city. Yeah, you coming in and you talking, but you ain't doing nothing. And then we got
You invited them. They
Stephen
came.
Copeland says Stephen Copeland says Kim didn't fit in. Um, Van Green, I guess she's voting for Sheila Dixon. And I will say about Sheila Dixon, and I've interviewed her a few times too. You got to be listen. Let me tell you something. Let me just stop right here, okay? Because you done got me started. Let me tell
Hold
you
that thought. And
something.
I'm gonna answer something real quick for you.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Hold
ahead.
that thought. Hold that thought. They came to
Okay.
the community. We asked them to come. They came. They look awkward. Black Republicans look awkward. We do. We look awkward, but we came. But Lady J, why you make that statement? I'm gonna give you the last word, but I want you to explain what when you've been around some of these Republicans, not Trump, the party. How did they receive you and treat you?
Oh, the Republican Party has they listen. I don't have a problem with the Republican Party, but let me say this. I don't attribute how I am received to the Republican Party because they're the Republican Party. I attribute being received wherever I go because of my two parents. And they raised me in the right way. and told me you have to go to get your education. They told me you can be better and you can have and you can be a part, you can go mingle with the Republicans, the Democrats, the Independents, the Green Party, the whoever. This came from my parents. So when I'm able to go and mingle with these people, it's because that's how I grew up. That's what my parents taught me. Now, the other thing is this. My parents also taught me because my dad has been a pastor. He's retired now. I wish he was watching for over 50 years. But the
He's
other
watching.
thing my parents taught me is to love my people and to love my community. And even though I grew up in white neighborhoods, my father made it a point every single day. I had to go with him, especially on the weekends, and I hated it. I have walked many streets in Baltimore City with my father in the hood. That's why you don't see me scared when I'm out there walking by myself. Because he taught me how to love my people. Just because I grew up, and what they said to me is just because we're raising you like this in this neighborhood because we can afford it does not mean that you are better than those people over there. So in order for you to understand that, you're going to be living here, but we're going out here to serve the people. And so that's what's in me. It ain't about the Republican Party. But what I will say is this, and I've said this to you. The Republican Party, as much as I yell and scream about my people, the Republican Party has embraced me and given me opportunities to soar, to do a lot of great things more than the Democrats. And again, it comes from trust because I
Tell the
feel
truth and
like
shame the
people,
devil.
yes, I feel like people feel like I don't know like which side she's on. But what does it matter? You see me out on the street, you see me running and talking for my people. So I don't let that really bother me and I still go out and do what I have to do. But what I'm saying, Chris, is so important that we have to educate the people. I will say this forever and a day, and maybe one day I will endorse Trump. I don't hate the man. I like him because, like I said, he taught me a lot when it came to doing stuff like this.
Business.
But but what I'm saying is that you can't take from people who are already impoverished and already, stricken down, and then say, okay, go about your way. You can't do that. And then the other thing, and Carla, I'm coming. The other thing is this: Columbia, Maryland. Okay, worked out there for years. Okay, I forgot when it was, but Columbia would not allow Section 8 to be out in their community. And for those of you who you don't know, Howard County, we have a county here, it's Howard County. They have the best schools. And I mean, I love Columbia. I love that area. But they would not allow Section 8. So, they went to court. So now they have to have Section 8. Now, these people, you're taking them from a community where they were impoverished, people hanging on the corners, they were selling drugs, doing all kinds of stuff. When I go to Columbia now, you know what they're doing? They're sitting on the ground like they were in Baltimore City, and you know what Columbia looks like. They're sitting on the ground. Now they have security checking people at the door because they're coming in there acting up, fighting, stealing, doing all kinds of stuff. And the problem with that is that you took them out of the community, but you didn't teach them how they were supposed to act when you give them something better. You're just pulling them out of the community and say, go over there. They don't know that in Columbia, Maryland, white people don't sit on the stoop. They don't need to. They don't know that. You all you're doing is just moving people around. That's my problem, Chris. And I get Trump's point because I don't believe that you should grow up on welfare and it should be something that you pass down from generation to generation. I don't believe that. But if they're not taught, that's what's going to happen. Now let me go to the caller because I've been talking a lot because you done got me started, Chris. Let me
I
let
like
me
what you're
let me go
saying,
to
though.
let me go to the caller. Come on, caller. Hold on, caller. Let me see something because I want to make sure we can hear you.
I keep
Okay,
looking
caller,
my
go right
eyes, and
ahead.
people probably looking at my eyes. That's because my camera is right there, but you are right there on my
Okay.
screen. I gotta find a way to center my when we get. I'm gonna try to find a way to put my camera on top.
All right. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening. I've been listening. I saw when you sent me the text for the show. We, I'm going to start by going back a minute. Um, about 10, 15 years ago, I wrote in a book, and it was published. and it was called White Folks Guide to Understanding the Black Community and Get Out the Vote. Now, that's a
I have
long,
that book.
obnoxious title, but for a purpose and a reason. Folks used to ask me all the time, well, how do we come into the Black communities and get Black folks to vote? Or how do we come into the Black communities and get Black folks to do this? And my one main answer was, come in when you don't want something. Don't just come when you want something. Come when you don't want something.
Mm-hmm.
You running for office and you going into a community and you busy talking. That means you ain't listening. So how you running for office to represent people you ain't trying to hear? That is a big part of the problem we have and why Baltimore City continues to vote the way it does. Because other folk understand the game. Okay? The game is I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear so I can get from you what I need to get, and then I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, until we understand, until we are truly woke and peep that game and actually understand how to hold elected folks' feet to the fire, we're gonna keep being here discussing amongst ourselves while other folks are out there doing what they want to do. People need to understand it's not just about being mad. It's about actually doing your homework. People say politics doesn't affect me. I'm not that at all. When you're behind, go to the supermarket and you're paying an extra dollar for your half gallon of milk for your kids, you'll understand then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Elected officials effect, and impact all of our pockets. You may not want to weigh in on if we should be in Ukraine or if we should be supporting Israel or Palestine, but you need to weigh in on how much that gallon of gas is going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
You need to weigh in on how much that loaf of bread is going to cost. And heaven forbid if you drink or smoke, that cigarette is quite crazy. I'm so glad I'm not going around the corner to get them.
I had to
All
quit
of those
drinking.
things are about politics. So when you think you are not being impacted, you have no reason to follow it, you do, and you're impacted every dang day. So to the political folk that may be watching that don't look like me, when you want to make inroads in the Black community, come into the community with something in your hand to give. Now, some people say that's buying votes. No, it's not. I put a link in the comments to something I did on Fox 45 because they were asking, well, why do people in Baltimore keep voting the same way? And I said, I'm going to tell you why. Because I may not like you, but you're from my hood. So I know which state you repping. I don't know them, so I don't know what they're repping. So I'm going to vote for you even though I don't like you because at least I know what you stand for. So until people come into the hood, into the city, I don't care if it's the hood or the white part of the city, but until you come into that part of the city and let people that you understand where they're at, you're not going to get anything different. And Republicans typically do not come into the city, do not campaign in the city, don't do a dang thing in the city until they want your vote. Now, I'm saying that I'm running for mayor, but you know what? I ran in 2020. And at the end of that election cycle, I said two things. One, if the city's going in the right direction in 2024, I'm not going to run. Well, it ain't. And two, I'm going to stay active, visible, and vigilant in my community to be able to work on the issues so I have a better understanding, have a clear understanding of policy so that if I run again, can nobody say I don't know what I'm talking about. Now, I still have an R, and folks may not like what I'm talking about, but can nobody say I don't know what I'm talking about? Because I done lived it, I done studied it, I done wrote it. Even my opponent with his little special self can't say I don't know what I'm talking about if he wants to be the honest Christian man he claims to be. My mother taught me if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So in order for me to be a part of the solution, I got to understand the problem. And until we all have that mentality, ain't nothing going to change.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And for those of you who don't know, that was Pastor Shannon Wright. Now, listen, Chris, I got to address something before we go real
Well, I'm
quick.
gonna let say something real quick. Hold that book she's
Okay.
talking about, Pastor Wright is talking about. I have that book, and she's I read that book, and she's telling the truth. If you want to listen, they came. She's one of the people we're talking about. She walked through the black
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the people that walked through the community. And you work with her. She out there
Mm-hmm.
giving out food now. So
Mm-hmm.
they are coming. They are coming. But go ahead.
So, and this is she was talking about the link that she put out if y'all want to go and look at it. And Terry Lynn Smith Sawinski, she put out a link. Um, okay. And so this is then we're going to go after this, y'all. I love talking to Chris Anderson. I really do. And y'all, let me tell you something. Next week, before I make this comment, well, let me make my comment first. But and we talked about this, Chris, because until the people in, and this is for both parties as well, all the parties, if you say you're in this party and you don't get along or you don't like the other person because of their race, it's never going to work for any of us. And we had a conversation because I was a little disappointed at some comments that I had seen on a post. And I like a lot of these people. But when I start seeing certain comments being made, me as a black woman, I'm going to take offense to it. And you, as my brother, and I have an African American son, I'm taking offense to some of these things. Because when you say something out of your mouth, 99% of the time, that's what you were thinking, and that's how you feel. And so I think that we got to be real. We got to be honest. If you don't, if you don't really, if you just like my black face or his black face or whoever's black face because they can help you or because of what they can do for you, say that. But when comments are being made and there was a whole chain going on back and forth, and I started seeing some colors, and I thought I started seeing some flags coming through, my mind was going because I'm reading these things. I have a problem with that. And those are the things, Chris, that will set us back. Those are the things that will keep people from listening to somebody like you or even listening to the party. Because if you're going to say certain things against my brother or you're going to say certain things against black people, I have a problem with that. I really got a problem with that. And I'm not going to pretend like I don't. Y'all know I don't pretend. I don't fake the funk over here. I'm going to tell you, I didn't like it. I felt like it should have been taken down. And I was really surprised at some of the names that I was reading because I like y'all and I still like you. But I'm doing this little baptism in just in a few minutes. I'm just making a little short baptism because some of y'all need to go down in the water again. And when you make these comments, and you can say it was all in fun. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I thought it was this. Oh, I thought. Let me tell you something. You can think what you want to think, but I'm looking at all of you as very highly intelligent people. And when you see somebody saying to you over and over and over again, no, this is what it was about. This is what the post was about. This is what it was about. And you continue to keep talking, I got a problem. And if I see you, we're going to have a conversation. Because I need to understand why you thought that was okay. Because now you're telling me that you don't even respect my black face. You like what I do. You like to shake my hand. You like to hug me, oh Lady J, blah blah blah. But you making me wonder because this ain't no mask. This black face is real. And so now you're making me kind of question where you are. Are black people in the party just because you need them to be that hand to extend to their community? What is it all about? And if y'all want to come on and do a show with me, we can come on and we can talk about it because maybe we need to have that conversation, Christopher Anderson. Listen, I have problems with that.
I know who you're
I
talking
called
about.
you late.
Right. I know who you're talking about. I gave him a phone call and I talked to him and he calmed down. He calmed down.
And listen, let me tell
But
you
that's
something.
between you and him. His words are up there. It was his words. So he gotta live and die on his own sword by his own words. He's a
And
grown
I'm not
man.
and I'm not just singling out one person. There were several people commenting.
Yeah.
Several people. So you show me where your elite and let me say this. You're not talking to somebody that grew up in the hood. I grew up in upper class white neighborhoods, and I graduated from a Jewish school. I lived in a Jewish community. So I know these games. I know when conversations, when people are talking to me, but they're really talking at me. They think they try to act like they're talking to me, but you're talking. I understand all of that. The problem I have is I don't ever want you to feel like you can talk to my brother any kind of way. You can treat him a certain way. And I'm not just talking about Christopher Anderson. I'm talking about any black man. I'm talking about my son. I'm talking about my father, my uncles. I don't want you to ever feel like you can just say certain things. Oh, we'll do this. Oh, who are you talking to? I have problems with that because it takes me back to when I was growing up in these neighborhoods, and they're telling me, telling my parents, if your children come outside, they can't play with our children, because we're black, like we got some kind of disease. And I feel like there are people who are in this Republican Party in Baltimore and wherever, and y'all need to wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm very much awake. I'm very much awake, Christopher Anderson, to some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Very much awake.
I know
And
you've
this
been
is
around.
why, yes, and this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. If you want more black people to come into the Republican Party, and Chris is always fighting for us to come in, come in, come in. If you and let me say this about Chris too. I met Chris in 2019. One thing I saw, like y'all could call him names, say whatever you want to say. Chris has a great heart, and he loves his people. He loves his people. And this is what kept me, being around with him, and when he's doing something, being a part of it, because I love people who love their people. But we are not going to, as a people, come into the Republican Party when we feel like you don't like us, or you saying some backhanded stuff, or you're not respecting the dead. We're not going to come into your party. I just want to make that clear. If we're talking about moving forward in this, some changes have to be made, and I need to see more of you on the camera, not just Christopher Anderson. He's not the poster boy for the Republican Party, okay? He ain't the poster boy. So I need to see more black men who are Republicans. You're more than welcome to come on here. You can dial that number on the screen or text me and say, I want to come on. But I need more black faces to come forward and say, this is why, explain to people. Not only this is why I need you to come over to this side, and this is why Trump is going to be better for us, but I'm actually going to do a food drive in your community. I'm going to do a coat drive. I'm going to give out shoes. I'm going to come down and work with the homeless. We need to see you. I live in Baltimore City. Chris lives in Baltimore City. It ain't no joke here. So all of that rah, 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 rah talking is good, sounds good. Your presence will be so much better. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Because some of y'all know what I'm talking about, and some of y'all is like, what is she talking about? But we're not gonna go deep into it. But I'm just gonna say I didn't like what I saw in those comments. And when you don't have respect for a dead person, somebody's family is mourning, and someone who has contributed a lot to the Republican Party, and you show a lack of respect and empathy, and you continue to keep going on and on when Chris is saying, this is why this post was up here, I have a problem. I still like y'all, but when I see some of you, I'm going to have to ask you why you did it and why you thought it was okay to continue to do it. Because, Chris, let me tell you something. Had the shoe been on the other foot and that was a white person's memorial, and we as black people were in the comments going on and this,
Oh
that, and the
hell.
third, and
Yeah.
rah, rah, rah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah.
want to kick you out of the party.
Yes,
We
they would.
deserve, we deserve, and not only deserve, we demand the same respect. And I'm gonna leave it right there. Chris, go ahead. I had to get that out. Had to get that off my chest. It was burning me. Had to get it off. Go ahead, Chris.
Now, I ain't gonna say no names. I'm gonna talk to some people about that, but I hear what you're saying, and it's truly right. I can say some of the Republicans that you need to talk to Eugene if you want to talk to another black. Bring Eugene Boycott on. He'll tell you. Ask him why he's supporting Donald Trump. It might be a little longer show. It's gonna be 5 hours long, but uh, you'll get some good insight.
Oh my goodness.
Um, and Blanca and Pastor Shannon Wright, bring her back on.
Mhm.
Ask them, but I guarantee you, they'll echo the same sentiments that what I'm saying. A lot of trust. The Republican Party needs to be trustworthy, and the black community is going. That's what everybody seems to be saying. They have lack of trust because they want to accept this plan, but what's he going to do on the other end when he get in? We've had a history with our European brothers and sisters on both sides, Republican and Democrats. And we need to re-examine that history again for this election and know which side we are truly on. One of them fought to keep you in chains and the other fought to keep you. Both of them had their own best interests in mind when they did that. One of them wanted to free you because the country's being torn apart, and one of them wanted to keep you in chains because they was making too much damn money to let you go. That told me as a black conservative that I was important. And I wish more black people learned that. We are the chosen people God put on this planet. And we have so many gifts that other people exploit. Racism was not about black or white, which we keep fighting it wrong. It was about money. It was about taking the wealth that God put in our pockets and the gifts, that abilities that we had to make it and give it to other people. And that has gone on till this day. That's what it's always about. And that's what it's always been about: money. We have in us an ability to create so much wealth and prosperity for ourselves that we just keep giving it away to others. And when you say that the party is for money, I'm for money now. I'm for money now. I'm not for being poor anymore. I'm not for it. We can create a structure in our communities that will benefit us. It already has, and don't be ashamed or apologetic about it. It already has benefited others. Others that are around us are taking our wealth. Others are around us and taking our prosperity and calling us names at the same. I can't stand when I hear the N word. I can't stand when I hear the C word. I can't stand when I hear chicken. People should be thanking us. People should be saying that, we generated. Well, I know it's never going to happen, but we need to think and look into ourselves and start putting prosperity and money back into our own pockets. And that's what I'm running for, Lady J. And I thank you for having me on just to express that. And we should all
Absolutely.
be that mindset, that money, wealth mindset that the Republicans have. We need to start getting back towards it.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, this is why. This is why I love you, bro. This is why you're able to walk in the hood. You're able to walk out in Hartford County. You're able to walk wherever you want. Why? Because we see you, we hear you. When I call you sometimes, I'm like, Chris, where you at? Oh, I'm at a protest. Oh, Chris, what are you doing at the protest? He was out in College Park. I said, Chris, what are you protesting? He was like, wait a minute, what's this protest about? And I'm like, Chris is everywhere because Chris loves his people. Now, there's more than one Chris. There's more than one black face in this Republican Party in Maryland. And we need to see all the other brothers and sisters, not just at the events. And I love y'all events because they be partying at the events and the food is good. So I love the events. But we need to see you in our communities. Because if we're talking about education, economics, and we're talking about trying to make our people better, our people, our faces have to be seen in these communities, not just during election time. Or like Pastor Shannon said, when you need something, we need to see you all the time. So I want to say thank you to you because your presence, and I know for a fact you're all over the place. I've seen Chris work with the Democrats, the independents, and Chris is a Republican. But everybody, you know, that show Everybody Hates Chris. Well, it's a lot of people here. Everybody loves Chris. They know that they can call Chris. Chris is going to do the door knocking. He's going to come on your show. He's going to talk to you. You are doing your thing, okay? And you're doing what you're supposed to do for our people. I love it. I appreciate it. And you know, I cannot thank you enough. But I'm saying to the other people who are listening now or who will listen later, I need y'all to be out here too. I need everybody to be locking arms. And for the life of me, I don't understand if you say you want to change our community, why we're not locking arms, protesting in the street over the blood and the lives that have been shed with our young people. Are they not a part of us? I don't want to hear so much about Donald Trump this and this and this and that. We got children that look like us. We got parents who are crying every day, waking up. They don't. I've done funerals, Chris, with both of the children are gone. They have no more children left.
I've been
Gone
to
to
one
street
I'm with you.
violence. Yeah.
I've been to one I'm with you.
Yeah. So we need to make sure that as we're rallying around Trump, black people, these black Republicans, we need you to come rally around in your communities. And I'm not talking about just in Baltimore City because we got people watching from all over. We need you to go into your communities. Republicans, Democrats. I've actually seen, as a matter of fact, at your event, the one I hosted, uh, Doc Cheatham there supporting you. That's what we need. It's about supporting each other. If we really mean what we say, because then you start making me wonder, people, do y'all really mean what you say? Do you really want it to get better? Or is this just one big party? If you really mean what you say, get out on the streets. I need to see you in the city. I need to see you walking, marching. I need you to come together. Let's have some meetings. Let's talk about what we can do. We have children who get up every day and go to school and they are hungry because there's no food in the house. How I know? Because I've been giving money. I've been helping. I get calls. And so we need you all to not just walk the walk, but we need you to talk the talk, walk the walk, all of that, and come out into the community. And maybe people will change their views and opinions on Mr. Trump. But listen, that's all I want to say. Now, listen, y'all, next week, Christopher Anderson put a post on Facebook. Let me see if I can find that post
No,
because I
Lady
want.
J.
I just want to give them a little bit because I want them
All
to come
right, go
back
ahead.
next week. Okay.
That post got too much
Now,
attention. That's Sharon. That post got too much attention.
no. And it should, because we have to. I believe if we want to grow as a people, and I'm not just talking about black people, but as people, period, we have to have discussions. I'm all chaplains. We're trained to listen and talk. So we have to have those discussions. I'm trying to see if I can find it, but anyway, Christopher Anderson oh, here it is right here. Okay.
Oh, girl, you're gonna get me in so much trouble.
So there was a post, and it says, however spiritual she looks, if she is a pastor, be assured she wasn't sent by God, and it has 1 Timothy 2:12, 1 Corinthians 14:34 and 35. So Chris wrote over this picture, he wrote, true. If you ever want to sit and discuss it, I can tell you intelligently why it has to divinely be this way. It's about order and structure. Look at our communities. So I said, Chris, we got to have a conversation about this because basically what it's saying is that women should not operate as pastors um, of a church. They should not be a pastor that in that head role. They should not be in charge at the church. Now we're gonna leave it right there because we want y'all to come back next week. But we're gonna have a discussion about that. And I also want I'm gonna ask a couple women who I know are pastors of their churches to come on. And we're going
We're gonna have a discussion. We're gonna have a
we're
discussion.
gonna have that discussion and we're gonna talk about it
And
because
I'm gonna say this before we go, so because we're gonna get hate, boy, that's gonna be one big show. I am not saying, and this is what the problem. You saw in some of the comments that I had. I am not saying that a woman cannot be used by God. I'm not saying that. Lady J, you're a chaplain. What
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about was gender roles, and I was just gonna go
Yeah,
at that,
don't
and then
don't
we
get
can
don't get too far into
right,
it. We're gonna save that for next week.
right. Talking about
Um,
gender roles, something we trying to get away from. Talking about gender roles, but go ahead. There's some things
yeah,
a man pastor can do that a woman pastor can't do. You can't do it. Some things a man can do that God know that a woman pastor just cannot do. And we talked about that earlier on the phone. They can't do it.
we did.
Yeah.
Um, listen, Chris. I think Christians loves the controversy, but let me read this. Oh, let me read this right here. Tanya Forrester says Trump turns black men into boys. I don't know how I feel about that conversation. I mean that comment. Trump turns black men. Oh, wait, let me read it again. Hold on. Trump turns black men into boys. She said Uncle Ben Carson is far more educated and way more intelligent than Trump. Yet Trump wiped his butt with Karen. With is this Karen's legacy? Are you saying Carson's? I'm not sure what you're saying. Um. Oh, she's saying with let me read it again. She said Uncle Ben Carson is far more educated and way more intelligent than Trump. Yet Trump wiped his butt with Carson's legacy, a brilliant mind like the one Carson once had. Now he looks like a fool. Tanya Flower says, Tanya, you made a good point, but Carson has done dirt of his own. Okay, interesting. Tanya Forrester, why you come on at the end of the show when we getting ready to leave? Because I like these comments. We might have to come back. Where did Chris go at? Oh my goodness, Chris is not even on the screen, and I'm just talking away. We might have to come back and yeah, we'll have to come back and have that discussion. But y'all, look, it's been great. I'm not sure where Chris went. I don't know what happened. Maybe his phone went out. I'm not sure. But anyway, I want to say thank you to everyone that came on tonight. I thank all of you who um have participated and given your comments and said what you had to say. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And look forward to having a conversation next week with Christopher Anderson about these women pastors. I might have another person, I might have another male on too. Um, who I know a lot of men who don't feel like women should hold leadership positions. I do know that as a pastor. So but we'll see. But anyway, I thank you all for coming on. I thank you for your support. Do me a favor. Y'all already know what I'm going to say. Do me a favor. Make sure you share this video to at least 3 people. Let them know that we were on the air tonight. Let them know um, what the show was about. All comments are welcome. I appreciate everyone who commented. I respect every comment that was made, every call that was made, because you're all entitled to your opinion, and that's what this show is about. You're entitled to say how you feel. I don't take offense to it either way. So I'm not sure what happened to Chris. His phone probably died, knowing Chris, because he probably didn't charge it. Tomorrow night. Make sure y'all tune in. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow. Hakeem Rockman, the boxer, he's a two-time heavyweight boxer. He's going to start doing a show on this station. It's called Unit 3. It's going to be a very interesting show. He's going to be coming on every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Yes, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I had to get the time right in my head. Let me look at my calendar because I'm trying to work without. Yeah, so he's going to be coming on at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in to that show. And then tomorrow night, also at 7 o'clock, we have John Hansborough coming on. John comes on every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. He does a really great show that's called Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. He brings on amazing poets. If you like spoken word, all of that stuff, make sure you come and take a seat at the table and listen to John, and definitely listen to Hakeem Rockman. Those of you who don't know him, Google him, um, get to know who he is. I love boxing, so if you're not in the boxing world, you may not know who he is. His son is boxing now, and then on Thursday, we're going to have Leslie Vass is going to come on. I normally do the show on Mondays, but I was out of town. Leslie Vass is going to come on Thursday. And this man was, he was, hi, Risa. Hi, Risa. Okay, Tanya Forrest. Okay, let me go back. Y'all still talking. Let me go back and see what it said. Tanya Forrest says, I'm sorry, sis. Chris couldn't take the heat. He's one of those boys. Oh my goodness. Call me back on, sis. Tanya Forrester and Risa. Y'all, I gotta go. Tanya Forrester, I would love to have you on. Text me your information to 443-297-4753. I would love to have you on and have a conversation with you about some things. I just love people who keep it real and say what they have to say. So anyway, I was saying Leslie Vass. I hope I'm saying his name right. Vass or Voss. He's going to be coming on at 8 o'clock this coming Thursday, and we're going to talk to him because he was wrongfully convicted, and it's really really sad. So I'm going to be talking to him, and I also do a prayer line at 7 o'clock. Every Thursday from 7 to about 7:45. We do a prayer line and we come together, we pray, we talk, we share. And it's really nice. So you can look for those things. I have them posted up on social media. You can find me on Instagram at LadyJ Media. You can go on Facebook and go to Charlene, Dr. Lady J Jenkins. You can go to where else? YouTube, especially. Please go to my YouTube page. Y'all, thank you. The YouTube page is growing. Y'all are amazing. Go to YouTube. It's What Up Baltimore TV. And make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we're coming on and you'll be able to hear and listen to all of the shows. I have enjoyed tonight's conversation with Christopher Anderson. And listen, all I can say is make an intelligent and informed vote. Don't be swayed by anyone telling you you need to vote this way or that way. I don't care what party it is. You make the decision. You make an informed vote. Do your research on that person. See where they are, what they're doing. Are they just talking or are they active in the community? What are they doing? Because those are the things that I'm looking for. Don't just talk to me and tell me what you're doing. I need to see it because if I don't see it now, that means I'm not going to see it later on. That's just me. That's just how I feel. All right. So everybody have a good night. Be blessed because despite everything that's going on, y'all, we're still blessed. I see people every day. Sometimes we feel like we're going through a lot of stuff, but then God actually allows certain people to come your way, and you're like, wow. Thought I was doing bad, but I could be doing worse. So have a great day. Have a good night. Don't forget to continue to check us out every night. Share, share, share. My name is Dr. Lady J. It has been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, Christopher Anderson, for coming on. And y'all join us next Tuesday because I know these lines are going to blow up when this man gets on here talking about women should not be in leadership roles as pastors. I don't know. I'm just going to sit back here and hold the mic. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.